are we good?
Tarigita o Tanoa Heilala o Molo Sesika. Patapa ki e kaipikau o manake te tuko tau tāpua o i katoa ngā o toro kala au tau iai i moku ini. Tari e pataku mamahea toi ve o hiko e Heilala a loro tonga. E poki o kau teni ka mo e Miss Asiki. Miss Heilala Sengwa. Kau file mui, e toko hofuru maafa, kuna roto toa, e nau kau i pise Heilala o e kono wano. E toki e kau whakamau. Katoa ka e roki katoa ka ino no o mau i tau kau. Ai whatongia mamafa o ia mutoro, e poke tau kau ātita. Kau popo, kau sponsor, kau motoro tau me tau kau pataha. I heni, kau mawhora poki e kau ahi live stream kia mai kia hea tō putaha. Ate whamarorani. Rai tari te kia kotoro. I he porokalama, kau e interview. Raki porokalama whamaa ia ni tā kau whine mui. Ko ia, rai tari te kia kotoro.
We would like to acknowledge the presence of God amidst us this morning. The attributes have been made. Maloi lau malie, maloi lele, and good morning to you all. Honorable Semi Sisika, the Minister of Tourism and Infrastructure, also the Festival Director, Madam Chair Lady of the panel of judges, Mishka Tuifua, and judges. To the Miss Heilala, Sosiana Tamoepeau, Miss Pacific Islands, Ailava Samuels, our beautiful 14 contestants for Miss Heilala 2026. Former Miss Heilalas and contestants who are amidst us this morning. And everyone here in the room and those joining us via various platforms at this hour, maloi lele and welcome. We welcome our distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, to the Heilala Pageant 2026, celebrating our heritage, embracing our future. This is coming to you live from Tanoa International Dateline Hotel in Nuku'alofa. This year is truly a historic and significant year for our kingdom as we celebrate the bicentennial anniversary of Christianity in Tonga, 200 years that has shaped Tonga today. This has also brought people from near and far back home. This morning we begin our first judging event, the pre-pageant interview. It's my privilege to introduce your host for the Heilala Week, my co-host here, the Master of Ceremony, Melie Laumanu, and myself, Salote Sispa, as your Mistress of Ceremony for the week. We have a full program, so let's make it memorable. Let's start with smiles on our faces and the Tongan pride in our hearts. To open our proceedings, I would like to now invite us all to bow our heads as we call on prayer to bless this event and the week's event. Our prayer offering for this morning, if I can kindly call on Bishop Galapa from the 2nd Ward of Papua. Ko e tau lotu e kamata ake e tau wau e pongpongini, ko whaho asie na piso pe kalapa, ke kamata ake o wau lotu ki mopata hoko atu. Malo.
Tua mak go to mau taman mai banyak. Mau ko ia i bong wa ofa mau Kenya i mau kale. Kamata ko kalam Ministerial. Ano fu tong wa fi wa. Mau ko ia wala na tu. Ana mali ya me amo tape. Kalau kita mau patah man pongin, mau kita patah, kalau misi boleh kuat atau buat semua. Mau boleh kita patah mungkin nanti nanti pongin, nanti pong kalam, lalu kau dia. Mahmia tenau, wah, nanti pong kuat, tubuh ini kau kau, jadi mau tol, kita kaya pun. Patah mungkin nanti hau tong. Pare, tapi kita ni buat minister, ini kita nak kamal, main pun kalam nak foto tu, mau bukti lah, ini apa ni? Tapi kita ni buat, tahu mau, mak nak kamu mak dia, hok nak mau agak lelaki, lawa ke fia, kami sebagai semua. Tapi kita ni mua mau tahu kalau kita mahu balik, tu kita mahu fia, nong ada fia. Tapi kita ni mua kalau sponsor atau apa, lawan kita nak hok kuat, kita pakai hok, mungkin yang ada ini, dia kau mis kalau kuat. Macam mana kita tahu kita ni mua? Ayah fakak singa, cuma pol kalam ay pongpongin. Yung ikaw housekeeping matur dengan feeling file tak atau apa, buat harap nama. Mau kori fo mole ki afela. Ihul mola he mau ngai to no, mau foto ma, ko amo tau. Mau mole ki mau to, kalau tu ku fai, dua foto tau si suka kalas. Amen.
Tahu kau betul, kalau tak buat kita ina saya bukti, juga nak tapi kalau tak bukti kalau lama, kita itu buat doai, tak bukti ini bisa malu itu. Jadi kita tahu kalau lama, kita tahu ulah tapi maafkan mai eknisa, kau potong awal dan memandang tuan, kalau dari kita bukti awal jauh kata Heilala. Bukan bas pasti main. This moment, I would like to invite the Minister of Tourism and Infrastructure and our Festival Director, Honorable Secretary, for the welcoming and thank you remark for you.
Kalau kata buka, faham satu dia pokok ni faham faham ni faham sih kita wakaya foto mai ko pegina tapi no fuat faham apa dia kita kita dua ka faham dan behavior in faham kita cuba let's help up a little bit, please. Jadi itu ada di pokok masih. Kau kaiben aku sama apa mau fatongia kita mau report kita boleh lah, and now ikut tak ifo. Kalau kaiben kita mata itu tak ada lagi lagi kita mata orang tetap sama apa. Pehe ko watu ku whamaloa te toto. Whamaloa ki ka u whiwhine mai ni. O nau kore taki, ke nau matei teu, ke nau whipā, ko hai hoku ko he whawhowha ko mai i he wawhi wānu, wawhi wawhite. Ko mau iwi, o ku whakarata pe e kere sao. Ka pai ai hana i tono no, o ngai whawhotunga e teke kāu, o koutoku, ko whakuru mora e pēta i miwi e waka hawa ne tau whiawi, ko le le tahaini e mau whakawhatakia. Ko le le tahaini e mau whiwhiwi ke nau hoko, e kau whamau tonu mahani, e nau whamau opo, ko e tau ola a whakatoku e hiwi e kātau. I he uri ko osi, nai whapasa te pasetana e whanua. Ke vai vahe i le whanua ke nai potu ngā au a poeanga, ke whanua tauhi, ka whanua tawanaki tātou. E potu ngai tak mamata, nai pasia e paset koe 5 miliona. Koe 2 miliona e au me tau te whakawhamaketi, pepa ni malewa ki ngā au me whatonia, e potu ngā au e ki hono, whanofo, o me tātaki, ia mo no pure, o tau hai ngā e whatakia. I he 2 miliona ki e whamaketi, mahalwena masini lahi ki ane I he tau whakatatau koe he ngai o motu Pasifiki, ki fisi, was whaia te he whamafoto, USD, million to market, Fiji. I he tau ngai Pasifiki ki kuka Heilala wa Moa, na o whiowhia ki he au 4 million. Maybe less or maybe more. Mahinu pe whakatahi, manua, o pakoni. Ai te ngai whanua ane tau whiawa au. Taimo tau pe o whi wholaua mai ai a taha I Europe, e Asia, pe ko Amerika Tonga, pe ko whitupe I Mamani, a tahi Pasifiki, ko whitupe na wāke. Tau 1 miliona, kai hau 4 miliona e tala. Ai ko whamaloa I ko motoro kai na tō. Ko tō rahi tau tō hinu kai na tō. Ko motoro mohanga whakarakato, e tau taikara. Makehe me he tāsiri lai. Koe mamanawa mui tonga niu o ngu muafu. Ko mo tāmai si te lai, mi whāngi au ni au e tau. Koe mi vai ua e tatsi e koe koe mai tonga e whanu. Pēne pēhe, koe mau ki hiki whamaketi e whakatangata peti e 1 miliona. Ko hae mea e 1 miliona e whai ke whiau au mo e whanoa miliona, mo e noa miliona. Aia ku pau ke mau ngā ue mate aki tuia ki hono tuaki ake whanua. Whakarerei e fu whanua. Whakarerei e destination. Build and develop the destination. Build public facilities, tourism infrastructures, upgrade the products. Ko homo lawa mai. Ko mo toro ia mo whakaaro e 1 miliona ke ofi haki ke tau miliona. He ko whamaroa te te moto. Ma ke hepe tau ni hen koe ki whakaaro ko. Me whakamari e ke te au ki whamaroa atu. Ka tarak whitu ki moto mo ai waha mai ki mui. Koe o mai, koe kau, ke o mi whanau ke o mai kau e pokarama. Pea mo mo whok mai ki ngai whanua tu pala. Koe o mo whanau mai ko mai ki moto anu. Ma o sia he pototu. Ko ki pacetu ko mai ki wiki he ala pawe to tawa to. La de pehe te formasi o ta mamata na de tato he ni ko ni. Ko Joey and Lise and Ato and Maki and Verna. They've been judges. They've been judging over the years, over the past years. But now I lo I le lei o tau I lo le lei pehe o MC. Aia koe ko ngalahi koe o kumine ato he pongpongini. Ke te ngata pepe hon whakao te lahi kāua whamalo no whahoma. Kuhi a ko mo kau mai. O mai turu tāku whanonga maua neo si tau iwi, tau whanfoki aie moe. Ka koe whuki malawa e koe tau iwi e tāwha ki e tā. Koe te kehe me ka programa Tanoa. I pot ngāwe koe tau patia Tanoa koe hou 4 miliona. Koe whie mau koe e kākai. I he moe. Ko whitalaga nuka kai māke I wafu. I malai wakapuna, I ma, I whaitoloa, I a whetu, koe tōre Tanoa. Koe whia mau ko whawhawhau mai whia mai teo miliona koe I vi koe hawhau mai. Ka hai tau mea whai, ko paupe ke tau tuhani, ke tau wako, ke tau mahinoi, o tau e whanua masira. Pa te tau whai whakapope o whanakau, mo tau wiri ngā, mo mea tau ngā. Koe ai ko whahawate e tala monu, ko mau I vi e pe kata angai, e mau teo teo. E ato no no ko koe whamuna mone atu. O whapete tau ngā au whatahape I he keres ai e ki ko e whakarerei pe mo no tau maka. O te fusia whamama pe he au e ni Maria. O tau tā pe mo laka. O se ne tā mo tā wa pe ngai no to mamai. Tau tā pe mo laka. Ko ia ko talamonu atu I ka whiwhini hoi hoi fua hoi ni. Nā mau ka mata mai ake ananaki lelei koe ni I roto e hau me mo. Ne mako e whae ue tō lai koe ni. Hoko hare no kai ke fu. Ke fu ka kato e mau popo I tō mai. Ka nā mau whae rewa ngai whae whae ko hono ui ngaki mai ni I koe ni. O tō e tānaki mai e mo e whae ua I tō mai. Ka meo tau hen I tau kātoa ma whawhia whia. Te mō whiohi. Pe tau whelanga aki. E tau ngai wā, koe whaamiri, koe kai ngā lotu, koe tangatai, whanua, koe whewhi whanua ati. O whateri mōtō, kātoa o lawea te ngai whawhonga hanga maheri, no ngai whawhonga koe tālo e te tau whakau whatongia he fuwha amuna mai. Koe hongo sia pengo he rai, koe ki hata e ahana monu ia, o ku whai matea ko tō be ake o whawhonga. Ko Lady Maria ia pe mo Samote, Lilo, ko tau e tētau o fu. Ko kamata mai dohe wingi Heilala, oso whoku na wingi Hawaii mea, ko hapa ko le holo kau holo he kau. Kau paka niu whoku ko awa e pere koni o ko kau kaki. O festival o ka kai na o awa e o asma e mo ni ko mepa, mo e o San Francisco, maa o whira o lau. O mahen pe te pepe puri pe o te te au mo mai whira o lau ko ngai ngā o matea. Ko ngā o kau se whai mo. Former contestants, I believe he won. And then I'm happy to see Caroline Makakawhaki, one of the former contestants, back in 20 years ago or so. Yeah. I will look forward to the loaki, when the former contestants and former Miss Heilala. Weekend, the Tawe, Tonga Futuk, Lady Maria, the Tao, Feama, the Whanaka, Tao Mahin, the Lady, the Tao Hoko, Kotoa, to Tonga, to Lama, Tao Formosa. Tao Monua, no Whanaka, so far.
Thank you very much, Honourable Mrs. Sika, with welcoming and also thank you. So that was 2 speeches in one, and you were allowed to do that. We hear from the Honourable Minister's speech, the frustration, however, the passion and the love that's there, and our takeaway from his welcoming and thank you all in one is, despite what little means we have here in Tonga, it is the love of our country that has carried us all this 200 years and throughout this pageant. So thank you, Honourable Misika. Continue on, to host Heilala Week is no small feat, and to make this happen, it happens because of the generous support of those in financial aid. So this moment, we would like to acknowledge those who have sponsored the Heilala Festival 2026. The acknowledgement of sponsors, supreme sponsors for 2026 is the Government of Tonga and Fiji Airways.
For our elite sponsors, MBL Bank, Tanoa International Divine Hotel, BSB Bank, Chinese Embassy, New Zealand High Commission, the Hobo Arts, Tonga Statistics Department, Fire Star, and New City.
For the platinum sponsors of 5,000 Paanga, Digicel, Lion Liquor and Tonga Cold Store, Friends Cafe, Tonga National Reserve Bank, and also the Australian High Commission.
For our gold sponsors, we have Tonga Airports Limited, Chef Zero, Builders Burger, Star Rentals, Sunshine Rentals, Tonga Chinese Federation, Hot Pizza, and Little Italy Hotel and Restaurant.
And for our silver sponsors, we would like to acknowledge M&J Water Rank Company Limited, Nuku'alofa Outrigger Canoeing Club, the Ancient Tonga Anahulu Events, Liu Guest House, Fato Mafi Finance, Siekafa Media, Fato Mafi, and Kava Trading. That is our silver sponsors.
And for our bronze sponsors, we have Michael Enterprises and Wilco Hardware. Please, can we have a big round of applause?
As acknowledged at the beginning of our program, for this first judging event, we have our judges. And at this moment, we'd like to acknowledge and introduce our panel of judges for this evening. The chairperson of judges, can I kindly ask Mishka Tuifua. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause. Mishka Tuifua is the chairperson of the Tonga Tourism Authority, a government agency that focuses on marketing Tonga as a premier tourism and investment destination in partnership with the Ministry of Tourism and Tonga Tourist Association. The Heilala pageant offers a powerful platform to showcase Tonga's uniqueness through our brave and beautiful contestants, and the Tourism Authority is a very proud supporter. With executive leadership, experience across banking and government, Mishka champions tourism as a driving force for Tonga's economic growth and is honored to serve as chairperson of judges for the Miss Heilala 2026. Mishka Tuifua.
And for our 5 judges for this morning, we have judge number 1, Joey Matai. Joey Matai, fashion designer and founder of Jolie HTV Designs, former Miss Heilala pageant coordinator, executive director and co-founder of Tonga Ladies Association, and since 1992, human rights activist for 35 plus years, entertainer, Polynesian dance choreographer, and a musician. Co-founded the Tonga Ladies Association in 1992 and serves as its executive director. In 1993, established the Miss Galaxy pageant, a cultural pageant to celebrate ladies, and while independently raising funds by local HIV education and community welfare projects, and the Tonga Ladies Association have awarded 84 scholarships since it started in 1992. Beyond her 2016 U.S. Women of Courage nomination, Joey Matai's contributions have earned several royal and international accolades. Silver Jubilee Medal in 1996, bestowed by His late Majesty King Tauwha Hautupo IV for humanitarian support of disability and sexual minority groups. Order of the Queen Salute Medal 28, awarded by His late Majesty King George V for services for Tongan royal family. Commonwealth Point of Light Award in 2018, presented by Queen Elizabeth II in recognition of exceptional volunteerism and community impact. Ladies and gentlemen, Joey Matai.
Our second judge for this morning's event, we have Liz Sullivan. Mrs. Liz Sullivan has been a director of Novelist Pacific Trading Limited since 1995, and following the completion of her education, Liz remained in New Zealand, where she built a successful career across a range of hospitality and administrative roles, eventually serving as an administration manager at the Auckland City Abattoir. In 1995, she returned to Tonga with a vision to build something of her own. Starting with Billfish Bar and Restaurant, she transformed the business from humble beginnings into one of Tonga's most respected hospitality establishments. Today, under her leadership, alongside her family, the business has grown to include waterfront restaurant and lodge, Lion Liquor and Tonga Cold Store, Davina House, and a number of commercial and residential properties. More recently, with her children now working alongside their parents, the family business has expanded internationally with the opening of a branch in New Zealand. In recognition of her outstanding contribution to business, Liz was the first Pacific Island woman in Australasia to be nominated as a finalist for the Commonwealth Women Entrepreneur of the Year Award in 2015. Beyond her achievements in business, Liz is deeply passionate about protecting Tonga's natural environment. She is a dedicated advocate for preserving our forests, marine life, and the majestic whales that grace our waters, while also championing the importance of safeguarding our rich cultural heritage and traditional values for future generations. With her wealth of business experience, commitment to community, and love for Tonga, we are honored to have Liz join us as a judge for this year's Miss Heilala Festival pre-pageant interview. Ladies and gentlemen, it is important with these backgrounds just so you have a fair idea of who we put in your panel of judges. Ladies and gentlemen, Liz Sullivan.
Please welcome our judge number 3, Mr. Takao. Takao currently holds advisory roles for the Wade Institute, New Zealand Trade and Enterprise, and the Tonga Tourism Association. He is a former CEO of the Ministry of Tourism and former General Manager of the Tonga Tourist Authority. He also volunteers on a number of boards, including the Tonga Rugby League, Tonga Federation of Boxing, and the Equippers and Ex-Community School Board. While he may be a person with many hats, his most favorite hat is that of a father for 4 children. Please welcome.
Our fourth judge for this hour, we have Verna Tokuafu. Verna Tokuafu is the Pacific Area Manager for BYU Pathway Worldwide, where she collaborates with governments, educational institutions, employers, and community organizations to expand access to education, workforce development, and meaningful employment opportunities across the Pacific. Verna holds a Master's of Business Administration and is a proud graduate of Brigham Young University, Hawaii. And during her time at BYU Hawaii, Verna performed for several years at the Polynesian Cultural Center, an experience that has deepened her appreciation for cultural diversity and fostered lasting international relationships. A proud daughter of Tonga and my neighbor, she is passionate about empowering others through education, service, and leadership. Verna is honored to serve at this panel of judges and looks forward to celebrating the confidence, the talents, and potential of Tonga's remarkable contestants. Ladies and gentlemen, Verna Tokuafu.
And for our judge number 5, Adormake Helu. Adormake is a prominent Tongan educator, musician, and senior lecturer in music at the Atenisi Institute in Nuku'alofa. She is heavily involved in continuing the legacy of their father, the renowned Tongan philosopher and scholar, Tusite. She serves as a senior lecturer in music at Atenisi Institute, a mezzo-soprano vocalist, and has performed in international venues, including Sydney and Auckland town halls. Her focus on preserving both classical European music and traditional Tongan arts of Whaiva. She's also served as the Institute's Vice Chair. Please welcome Adormake.
And lastly, for this panel, I'd like to introduce our scrutineers for this morning's program. First scrutineer, Nirashan Desanyak, the Manager of Operations of the MBF Bank. Nirashan Desanyak's background, senior banking and operational professional with over 20 years of international experience across banking, financial services, and corporate operations in Tonga, Papua New Guinea, and Sri Lanka. Currently serving as a senior manager, banking operations at MBF Tonga, with responsibility for operational governance, regulatory compliance, and process improvement. He started banking career with HSBC in Sri Lanka in 2005 and has accumulated more than 15 years of banking experience across leading institutions including HSBC, Nations Trust Bank, National Development Bank, Union Bank of Colombo PLC, and MBF Bank, complemented by senior executive roles in Papua New Guinea. He holds an MBA from London Metropolitan University and professional certifications in retail bank management and private banking, known for his strategic thinking, strong operational execution, strong decision-making, governance excellence, customer focus, and sustainable business growth. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in the good hands of Mr. Nirashan Desanyaki.
Second scrutineer, Paden Vaide. She holds a Bachelor of Science in Computer Science and Information System from the University of the South Pacific and 3 years of banking service as the head of payment at the Bank of the South Pacific, Tonga Limited. Please, again, a round of applause.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, and as we move into the deep waters of this morning's program, just some housekeeping matters as we move forward. We'd like to ask all of you present today, if you could please switch off the volume of your phone. Note that there is live stream here from Television Tonga and also Broadcom. So for those of you that would need footage, you could take it off there so that our program can run smoothly. We ask that there be no noise or distractions while the contestants are making their presentations. And if you must leave the room, please do so during intervals of the presentations.
Kapau kata tu kau mengahi telefoni, mengahi nau fa elektronika ko kulomoa datang kata do tamte ko tui ko be ki sai be ki kata ki fasisi be halomoa I rolotonga ko e fa ko ngahi polkala ko ye ko misi be kapau ko ke firma ko ke mama be loki e fa nga dai me ko ni ke kata ki o tantari ke os ke paha ko e fetong ni ka u bisi pagto kuwa ito ko ke o ai kuhas ai roto ai paha ko e polkala ma malo.
Just so that we're all on the same page and understanding in terms of the method of judging that will be used by our judges for the pre-pageant interview, firstly is the dress code, which is the Tonga national attire. The criteria used will be elegance and eloquence, the presentation and expression of topic, the quality response to questions, the in-depth knowledge of topic and intelligence, and also the clarity of speech and emotional control.
Koe rotonga koe no whaho koe e polokalama e nau ngahi konga aki ai whakalang i eki ka pau e te pō whakatonu kia koe anga hono whakahoko I hono whaho koe nau ngahi kawinga koe anga a hono whakahoko ia i tuunga o e tahi koe ngā whiui. Ke nau mako e loto la. Koe nau ilo ke kawenga koe nau whakahoko. Pea o no whakafotunga.
This category, please note, is judged on the contestant's overall presentation. Essential is her ability to interact socially and to communicate confidently and knowledgeably with the questions that will be asked. Contestants will be given 5 minutes for their presentation, and during which they'll be asked at least 2 questions by at least 2 separate judges.
Nau whakahoko, o ke nau whakahoko aki ai lotolani, pea poe loto whiwhia, paru fua whiwhia. Pea o kuange nau takwini te lima ke whakahoko aki nau polokalapa. Pea i he taita tau pe toi hopat mo e hu e ua, e he omo whamau ke pe e ua. I ka wenga koe au nau whakahoko.
The scores from the pre-pageant interview and the on-stage interview will be combined to determine the recipient of the Best Interview Award. Each contestant has 5 minutes once again with the interview. The first bell will signal 30 seconds remaining, and the second bell marks the end of time, and the third bell indicates you are 15 seconds over time.
Tuanga tu koe ki whahoko aki ai e nau presentation ko e bilite nima. Tā durewa ki whawhangu whakatokanga te toi se koni tōru noa. Tā durewa ki whawhangu i he kakato taimi. Tā demo ki whawhangu ka tōru mahino re mai au ke o maki se koni taha nima. Ka koe interview koe ni, e tānak whakatahaia ko interview koe he pōwhai toro. E tō whamaka
There we have it, ladies and gentlemen, and also contestants. We've set the tone for this morning. Without any further ado, I would like to now call on our first contestant, who will begin with us. And of course, you note they have all pulled the topics that they will be presenting on, and which the interview will be based on. Ladies and gentlemen, our contestant number 1, Ms. Taliki Fisi, Melek Afatu Wilingia Malafu, and her topic is on sports.
Pagatapu ki e tau tamai o ku awhio I Hewani. Pagatapu ki e ne awhio tupo ono. Moe hoi ki hono katoa. Pagatapu ki e kau whakamau. Pagatapu ki e Heilala Committee. Pagatapu ka mga Heilala competition moe ngahi tuanga hono katoa. O kutu ke ka pagatapua. God is good. All the time. All the time. God is good. Good morning. My name is Mele Kapuatu Vilinia Maafu, and I will be discussing the role sports has in our community. Sports are not just an organized, competitive, physical activity. It is a way of life. Participating in sports allows for a healthy lifestyle, growth in education, and character development. Our bodies are a temple, so we must treat it as one. Playing a sport, or even finding light movement, such as a brisk walk or simple jog, for 20 minutes after a meal will help your physical health as well as your mental health. Athletic scholarships allow our youth opportunities to further their education. Loma alone receives athletic scholarships every year from sponsors that are overseas. The person that receives athletic scholarship must learn quickly how to balance studies while also performing well with the set team. If the balance is not found, there will be consequences tied to each decision. To students that struggle to find the balance, please speak up. Reach out to your family, your coach, your teammates, as there are many people willing to assist. Do not rob yourself from the opportunity God has provided you with. People that have received scholarships in the past never forget their roots. They return to Tonga, share the skills they've learned with the new generation. I highly encourage people of all ages to find a sport of any kind that puts them at ease. You do not need to play contact sports, such as rugby. Joining a dance group, a run club, or playing pickleball will do the same trick. The reason you should incorporate a sport into your daily life is it will teach you respect, self-discipline, and confidence. The amount of character development one can receive is endless when it comes to sports. Everything I shared might sound like a lot, but keep in mind that God intended for our lives to be simple, but we as humans tend to overcomplicate our decisions. So I would like for you all to join me in singing a song we were taught as children as a simple reminder. Please join me in singing Lawe Toi Tapu, which is my favorite and first Tongan song that I learned as a young child. Lawe Toi Tapu, pe lotuma upe, lotuma upe, lotuma upe, Lawe Toi Tapu, pe lotuma upe. Read your Bible, pray every day, and you'll not only grow physically, but also mentally, and most importantly, spiritually. Maloha.
Contestant number one, America. How are you enjoying the weather here in Tonga?
I'm loving it. I'm from Arizona, so I'm dealing with the hot sun.
My question is going to be totally the other side of reading the Bible and grow. Okay? All right. How can we encourage more young girls in Tonga to participate in traditionally male-dominated sports like rugby and weightlifting?
We can encourage the young girls to participate in male-dominated sports just by encouraging them, being supportive. As Tongans, we do rely heavily on our family and God. So if we often pray and just reach out and lend a helping hand, but also to have the rugby players have a helping hand with the young women and maybe teach them a few moves and just offer a word of encouragement. Because thank you.
I know it's very nerve-wracking standing up there in front of everyone, but you've done very well.
Thank you.
Team sports are proving to build character. How can a sports program be used to keep youth away from crime and antisocial behavior?
Sports can be used to keep away generations and people of all ages away from crime and other activities by simply building a routine. Having a routine, simply just waking up in the morning, having your breakfast, and then also finding some leisure activities that also can go into sports, can help reduce the amount of crimes that one can commit if you are putting your time into other things and keeping yourself busy.
Thank you, Ms. Tarikifisi. Very kafuatu Williama. Please welcome our contestant number 2, Ms. Takeaway Creations 2026. Beleane Pulotfietau Brown. Her topic is on domestic violence.
Just as Ms. Tikaway is preparing her presentation this morning, just reminding all of you here, our second judging event will be happening this evening at Atele Indoor Stadium at 7 p.m. this evening. And for those of you that are watching from home, do take note that Atele Indoor on the top, which is, I would say, the best view, it's free. So you're more than welcome to join us this evening. It's the Tau Olunga competition of all the 14 contestants. That's this evening at Atele Indoor. Also happening this week, we have the Sarongware, the Talent, the Island Creations, and of course, rounding up the week with the Heilala Ball happening on Friday. So for those of you who cannot join us this morning for the pre-pageant interview, we invite you starting this evening at the Atele Indoor Stadium. You're more than welcome. For those of you who are not joining the tables of the sponsors and those on the ground, you're more than welcome to come join us at Atele Indoor Stadium on top. We have 14 beautiful contestants here and families who have traveled near and far to compete in this event. I believe our Mystica Way is ready with her presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, Meliane Pulotfietau Brown on domestic violence.
Good morning, everyone. Sorry about the delay. Tapu mo otua au ne afio ia tau lotoloto ngani. Tapu mo kai ngā kotoa. Tapu ki e sola mo e ngani. Kai ata e leo e whahoto whakahopo anu a leo. The topic that I was given is on domestic violence. As Tongan, we're a people founded upon ofa, love, whakaapa-apa, respect. Tauhiwa, nurturing relationship. Tuike otua, faith in God. The values shape who we are as people and how we care for one another. These values guided our ancestors for generations and were reflected in the leadership of Her late Majesty Winsalo Titipo III, whose life continues to inspire us to lead with humility, compassion, and service to others. There is a Tongan saying, "Go opa, mo whakaapa, go makatuungalia, o nofolele." Love and respect are the foundation of peaceful living. Yes, today many of our mothers, daughters, sisters, children, and even fathers and sons continue to suffer behind closed doors. Domestic violence is not simply a family issue, it is a national issue. It is a human issue. Domestic violence is any behavior within a family or intimate relationship that is used to harm or intimidate a person. It can be physical, emotional, it can be physical, emotional, psychological, or financial. At its core, domestic violence can take away a person's sense of safety, dignity, and freedom. Earlier this year, our nation mourned the heartbreaking loss of a 43-year-old mother of 4 from Wava'o following a domestic violence incident. Our nation prepared to celebrate Mother's Day. 4 children instead face life without a mother. One act of violence changed generations forever. Sadly, this tragedy is not an isolated incident. According to Tanoa police, 767 domestic violence cases were officially reported in 2023. By 2024, the number had risen to 865 reported cases, an increase of 98 cases, or nearly 13% in just 1 year. Whilst nationwide statistics for 2025 and 2026 has not yet been officially released, these figures remind us that domestic violence continues to affect families across our kingdom. But perhaps the most heartbreaking statistics is the ones that we have not counted or measured. And these are only the statistics on reports that have been, on cases that have been reported. Many survivors never come forward because of fear, shame, financial dependency, concern for their children, or pressure to keep silent. Behind every statistic is a face. Behind every number is a mother, a father, a daughter, a son, a child longing for a place for peace within their homes. Yet despite these challenges, there is hope. Across our kingdom, organizations such as the Women and Children Crisis Center have become a refuge for survivors of domestic violence. Through counseling, legal advocacy, outreaches to the outer islands, they have restored hope to countless families, and their unwavering commitments reminds us that healing is possible. And that no survivor should ever have to walk through, and that no survivor should never have to walk through their journey alone. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Takeaway. My question is, if a close friend confided in you or shared in you that they were experiencing domestic violence, what would you do to support them?
Sorry, could I clarify that question?
If a close friend shared or confided in you that they were experiencing domestic violence, what would you do to support them?
What would I personally do to support them? I was raised in a household that whatever comes your way and whoever it is, you treat them as family. And I'll do my best to support them. And luckily here in Tonga, we do have organizations that are here to help them as well. For example, like I had mentioned in my speech, the WCCC, the Women's and Children Crisis Center. They've got organizations and they've got safe houses ready to help with everything as well. And for me personally, I'll hear them out. I know that most of us just, especially going through domestic violence or going through some difficult times, they just want to be heard. And yeah, thank you.
Ms. Takeaway Creation, thank you for your presentation this morning. And my question for you today is, this week or this month, Tonga has been celebrating the 200 years of Christianity. And in your presentation, you spoke of love and respect as the foundation of our homes. Yet domestic violence continues to claim lives of women and mothers in these homes. So can you tell me what must change so that these values are not only taught, but that they're truly lived in these homes?
what must change? What must change so that the values, the love and respect that you talk about in your presentation is not just taught in the home, but is truly lived?
What must change? In my own opinion, the thing that we should look at mostly would be we must teach our children that home is your first school. And you should also teach them it's also your safe space. It should be the place you should feel the most safest in. Like for most children, especially in domestic violence incidents, they don't feel safe at home and they try to find it in other places. But with these things, we try to advise and encourage them, teach their kids young, because they are the future generation. Yeah, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, contestant number 2, Mystica Creation 2026. Thank you, Miliane Pulotu Fietao Brown, on her topic, domestic violence. As our panel of judges are just rounding up their marking for this morning, I have the honor of introducing our contestant number 3 this morning, Miss Ministry of Infrastructure, Larila Veronica Tuiniwa Ngalo, and her topic that she'll be presenting on this morning is education.
Tulo atu. O ko kole ke hufanga e whataf ko o sono whaki, ka tāke whahoka tō glea e ka wenga o ako i helea Whapritania. Ko ka wenga, ko ako, ko mama ke ka hao tonga. Education, the light of Tongan's future. When we hear the word education, many of us think of classroom, teachers, and books. But to me, education is so much more than that. Education is the little girl who wakes before sunrise and walks to school carrying dreams that are bigger than her circumstances. It is the sacrifice of her parents who work tirelessly so their children may have opportunity they never had. Education is hope. This year is especially meaningful as we celebrate 200 years of Christianity in Tonga. It reminds us that our nation's journey has always been guided by faith and knowledge. More than 150 years ago, our beloved King George Subo I found inspiration in the words of Hosea chapter 4, verse 6, "Ok auha hoku kakai ko masiva ilo." To him, this was more than scripture. It becomes a vision. That is why he gave our people a constitution. That is why he made education free and compulsory. Because he believed that the greatest wealth of a nation was never its land or its resources. It was its people. His vision for Tonga is beautifully reflected in the 5 guiding fingers of the hand. Lotu, our Christian faith. Ako, education, leading us toward wisdom and opportunity. Whakalakalaka, progress and development. Tukufakaholo, our cultural language and tradition. Tawataina, our independence. This principle are not only the legacy of King Dubo I, they are the foundation upon which continue to stand as Tongans. We know that education does not begin at school. Ko api ai uluaki abiako. Before we ever learn mathematics or science, we first learn respect, humility, service, and faith. We learn what it truly means to be Tongans, because education is not about filling the mind, it is about shaping the heart. It is about today. I believe King Dubo I's vision has been fulfilled in remarkable ways. Tonga has produced an extraordinary number of highly educated people across the world. They are living proof that the seed King Dubo I planted generation ago has borne fruit. Today, our challenge is no longer a lack of knowledge. Our challenge is ensuring the knowledge continue to build Tonga. Many of our pride mind leave us short because opportunities overseas often greater recognitions, better career pathway, and the chance to fulfill their skills and expertise. This is not because they love Tonga any less. It is because they are searching for opportunity to fulfill the potential that education has given them. Perhaps the questions we must answer now is, how do we build a Tonga where our educated people can return, thrive, and help build the nation they love? As Ministry of Infrastructure, what does infrastructure have to do with education? To me, they're inseparable. A child cannot learn in a classroom destroyed by a cyclone. A teacher cannot reach school if a bridge has collapsed. A student cannot succeed without safe school and resilient communities. Every school we build, every road we improve, is an investment in the future of our children. At the Ministry of Infrastructure, we build with concrete and steel, but more importantly, we build opportunity and we build dreams. This year theme is celebrating our heritage, shaping our culture. To me, there is no greater way to celebrate our heritage than by honoring the vision of King Tupou I. And there is no greater way to shape our culture by raising a generation that is educated, compassionate, humble, and proud to call Tonga home. Because education is not measured only by degrees we earn, and measured by the lives we change and the community we strengthen. I dream of a Tonga where our children free to chase their dream around the world, but always know they have a home worth returning to. A Tonga where knowledge does not leave us, but comes home to build us. Because the greatest legacy we can leave behind is not only educated mind, it's educated heart. Heart guided by lotu, enlightened through wako, strengthened by whakalakalaka, grounded in tok whakaholo, and protected through tawataina, so that every generation may proudly declare, ko atua mo Tonga, ko hoku towhia, malo pito.
Thank you, Ms. Minister of Infrastructure, Ms. Lorella. You mentioned in your presentation that you think education is all about feeling the heart. What would you do to change in the education system in Tonga to achieve the feeling the heart,
Thank you.
guided by the 5 fingers that you presented to us? Thank you.
For me, for example, my fingers, as I guided, is lotu, wako, whakalakalaka, tuk whakaholo, and tawataina. Ways that we can change Tonga to feel that education is all about feeling in the heart is that we put in our mind, in our heart, that we're going to chase that dream. For example, we put on platforms that it will help us change how Tonga thinks that we're small, as how it says Tonga is whakakaukau sisi, for example. I need to change that mindset that we can do everything. That, for example, that when we put it in our heart, we work it. Faith work together with, if we have work without faith, we can't achieve it. Thank you.
Hi, Lorilla.
Hello.
Are you nervous?
No.
Don't be. How will you use your platform if you are crowned Miss Heilala to advocate for stronger integration of vocational trades, digital literacy, and traditional skills in our schools? Do you want me to repeat that?
Yes, please.
How will you use the platform? In case you are crowned Miss Heilala, how would you use this platform to advocate for stronger integration on vocational trades, digital literacy, and traditional skills in our schools?
Okay. Thank you. For me, if I will be crowned and be honored to be a Miss Heilala and try to help younger children to, with my topic in digital or in traditional, right? For me, I will put on a platform that will make generations be more like what's the word? Ai hame au whakaai ki nau tolu ki nau te matua ke ngai ako ke mahu inga maria ke te nau tolu ai ako o ka matahangi ko mention ko api ai lua ki api ako. So if ka pau te tau ka mata me api ai lua ki api ako, I think it will be more important to the generation pe mahino ke ona loto. Education is very important. I he tu whakaholo reminding who they are, that they're a Tongan mo ngahi tu whaai ka vekola na tau tupu mo ia. And then when we all get it together as platform, kene te tohoa ki ange tau ka ngai tau tupu ke mahu inga o education.
Thank you.
Malo Opito, Miss Ministry of Infrastructure, Larila Veronica Tuiniwangalu. Let's welcome our contestant number 4, Miss Anana, USA. Miss Rachel Rian Reed. Her topic is technology.
Ladies and gentlemen, honored guests, and cherished families and friends, I'd like to thank our Heavenly Father for this opportunity to speak to you all today on the topic of technology. Malo lele, ko hoku hingoa Rachel Rian Reed, o ko whakafofongai ai Miss Anana USA 2026. When discussing technology, we must acknowledge its dual nature. New technology is not good or evil in and of itself. It's about how people choose to use it. Like any tool, technology contributes to Tonga's benefits depends on the user. If used properly, technology can increase accessibility of educational resources for our Tongan youth, advance Tongan's healthcare, and give our local Tongan businesses a platform to market for themselves. For instance, sites like Airbnb, guest homes have given Tongan landowners the ability to rent out their properties and increase tourism in Tonga, thus benefiting our economy. Additionally, advancing Tongan's healthcare tech not only improves public health, but also drives economic growth by creating job opportunities to support local families. Another benefit from technology is using it to bridge the gap between generations and maintaining anga whakatonga. It can be utilized to capture stories for our elders and their upbringing in Tonga, thus sharing their practices with our Tongan youth and keeping our rich culture alive. Technology can also be utilized to preserve our Tongan language with online teachers. While it may increase the global visibility of our heritage, it is important we still encourage those to visit Tonga and see it firsthand. While in some cases, with our unregulated screen time, technology can contribute to an increase in screen addiction and social disconnection. However, in many cases, it has also maintained connections and assisted Pacific Islanders to keep in touch with their loved ones overseas. Examples like Facebook Messenger and WhatsApp all have contributed to keeping families connected and uniting extended families. From my own experience growing up overseas, I was introduced to technology at a young age, and I've seen the benefits and the growth that it has on the economy around me. So I know it can have a positively impactful effect on Tonga to have as well, if used in a beneficial way. Going back to the point I made of using technology to share our culture and heritage, as for myself, not growing up on the island of Tonga, I always felt some sort of disconnection. I can attest that growing up with technology at my fingertips helped me learn more about my Tongan culture. It also gave me a peek of what home looked like and allowed me to feel close to my heritage even through a screen. This motivated me even more to come and see Tonga for all its beauty for myself. Through social media, I've been able to see streams, just like right now, videos of family, the beauty that is posted for tourists, and the grace and significance and religion that Tonga has. As for the last remaining monarchy in the Pacific, technology can help not only promote, but share the story of the friendly island, which I had with others growing up. In summary, technology's connectivity serves as a stewardship. How it's chosen to be utilized will provide itself as a community blessing. There is a saying that everything happens for a reason. I do believe that we are blessed with new opportunities and given tools to help us access these blessings awaiting. It's truly how we proceed to access and use it that can determine the positive outcome and that can be connected to technology for Tonga. Malo pito.
My question to you as a Ms. Heilala pageant contestant, with technology, social media, what can you do to be helpful and advise youth about how to use this in a positive way to encourage them in education, as it is a form of when they're walking with their phones as a laptop for education and learning skills? What would be your question? What would you tell them or encourage them about the positive of technology?
Thank you for that question. I do believe that education is very important. And growing up, all the tech was around us and everything like that. To have a system or a platform installed while in school to teach the kids how to use technology properly, I know can benefit them very well. To teach them the positives, the negatives, and how their words can really, what they put out in the internet can really affect somebody. What I would tell the youth is to be mindful of everything that is put out, because you never know. But I do believe that having that taught in school is very important for when they're young, so that when they get older, they know more of what they're using, that it's not just some toy, but it can go a long way. Thank you.
Thank you. In your presentation, you actually touched on tourism and the benefits of technology to economic development. If you could create one technological innovation to help tourism in Tonga, what would it be and why?
Thank you for the question. I have a true passion for the elderly and the stories that they have. If I were to create something, it would be a platform where we have our elders tell their stories and record it so that we can hold on to it. But for the tourist part, to have it online on social media so they can come and experience, so that people can travel and come experience who that person is that told that story and what they have to show and their upbringing as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, your contestant number 4 there, Miss Anana USA, Rachel Rihanna Reed, on her topic, technology. I have the honor of introducing contestant number 5, Miss Ewa Tourism, Betiola Samantha Tongyasi Pola Junior Siwa Masila, and her topic chosen is preservation of indigenous culture.
Paloveape, Vahewowa Besion. Hako ia tamasi I halau totonu. Kene aluai. Pea kane motua. Ikai tene mawai. Meiai. Maloi lelei ko kingoa ko Petiola, Samantha, Tongsia, Pola, Siwa Masila. O ko whafofonga e atua e Miss Ewa Tourism, ki e wanoa wano. Foi mea ni koe ki toi pau ua koe ku tangia. Ki hue lau Maria iau. Kore ke hufanga ngai tala whakatapu kua osono au whaki. Ka ata mo o ke ulawe at ke kawenga nai. Whai ke ai a ahoi ane nai. Aya ko kawenga pehe. Preservation of indigenous culture. Preservation kono uhinga te whakatonga te koe ke whaasai e rea whakapala papaalange kau ewa. Aya kono uhinga koe malu i tau hi ke malu pea pasi ke poke mao. Koe intinin mea pehe irifia. Koe culture, aia te tala noai ki he lea. Aia koe ta koe lea whakatonga mo lea whakaniua. He koe lea koe ni koe tuku whakaholo. I he e tau tui whakalotu. O kau ki ai e tau kahoa koula o e tonga koe wha e kawe koula. E tau mahu inga, e tau historia, e tau whonua me tō o ngā mo ui ai tonga. Aia koe no o tatau wala i wheitu kotoa. Ka mole a lea, e mole whonua. Pe kono toi ai ke mahino ange, ka mole a lea whakatonga, koe mole ai peia e tau whonua whakatui. Koe kupu ilea koe ni kone whakamahino mai mo whakamanatu. Koe tau lea tonga o mahulu au pito. Ia i he tau whepo tala noa aki. He koe tā eni e mafu e tau whangakui. Pe koe e tau whaunga ia e tau tuku whakaholo. I he kulea e pongpongini, te tā whataha pe ke tā whaaki, maho inga taha, aia koe lea whakatonga. Hangi ko ke hela i pe pāhi tu i mua no lau. Koe lea, koe whaunga pe koe tupu angaia e tau tuku whakaholo. I he lea, ko hono pāsi a oi ilo, pe koe knowledge, e tau whangakui ki e whangamoko puna, aia ko koe pia moau. Through language, we express respect, love, and our identity as Tongan. Koe rea tonga, koe koloa mahu inga. Tau ngata i he kwaito i iloho kua tuku ngalo me ai. Whela ko mai mi e ua ko.
Malo a pito Miss Ewa. Whakawhiawhia e mau pe ki tau tolu. Ka koko whehu i pe i he pongpongini na ke tala noa ki he rea whakatonga. Pea mo ngai tuku whaholo. Ka Kau tau ilo ipe alpe taimi mo al mo whakalaka ai whonua koe ni. Te ke lava o tala mai pe koe haha whaunga te tau lava tau himauia e tau rea whakatonga mo tau ngai tuku whakaholo. Ka tau teu ipe mo tau tupu ke nau whehangangai mo ngahi nini o ka hau.
Te ki lau I me ka atake te whanau.
Koe a fu mamawha. Whaunga whewhe ha tau hi e tau rea whakatonga mo e tau ngahi tuku whakaholo. Ka tau teu ipe mo e tau tupu ke nau whehangangai mo ngahi nini o ka hau.
Ia. Kia te au, tō gani e tau kehe ana whai tārea koni me wheheu e. Kia te au koe mape ke tau whai koe. Taimi ko tupu hakai whanau koe nau ke iki. Ako ne ki nana ki nau tō. Pea tala noa ka nau tō ke nau ilo ngahi tō o ngā whaka. Ui ngā ako ne ki nau tōlu e tō o ngā whaka whanua atonga. Ko ia. Ai peke ngā tāna kai hawata mai ki unsai e nau rea.
Malo e. Miss Ewa Tourism. Oh, I love you so much. Ko ki whehu ipe. Ko hai whatongia o tourism ki hono puke mo tauhi ke malu ai ngahi nau o e tuku whakaholo mo tau
Ia ko whakakau peke whehu I ko ia. Tuko ne te patingi pe mo mea te peke mao whai tāri. Taki whakamai no me ka take.
Tau pepe o kuke whahok whatongia e Ministry of Tourism e waako ia I ewa. Ko ha a whatongia o potu ngāu e tak mamata ki hono puke a e tau ngahi nau tuku whakaholo mo e culture koe na ki tala noa ki ai.
Eo. Koe whakakau ki ai, koe... Ore wau ka tagata ke whakakau ko me iau. Koe whakakau ke whehui koe nā koe... Whakarere ha... Polo kalama. Ha polo kalama ai tak mamata o hinga ke fai mo ki ako ai. Koia. Te wala apila.
Oh, thank you.
Malo. Thank you very much. Miss Ewa Tourism, Petiola Samantha, Tongiasi, Paula Junior Siwa, Masila. Thank you. Let's welcome our contestant number 6. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss SNS USA 2026, Lava Lava e Kakala Hingoa Rijal Heda Esau. Her topic is climate change.
Hangi osi pe de nervous aki taia he hanga Miss Ewa ai tau toke tau kata. Ka inga malo mo lelei. Kole ke o wha malu pe I ngahi tala wha tapu ko osi hono a whaki. Ka whakaata nge mua e pai ngani. Ke whai atu ha whakalave ki e kawe inga ko whakona akita ke hoa koe ni. Pea tupe whoki ke o whakahoko atu I he lea whakapiritania. Imagine yourself at Fomotu Airport, holding your loved ones close as they prepare to leave. From the terrace above, voices rise in heartfelt goodbyes, worlds filled with love, courage, and the promise of reunion. Even as tears fall, there is a powerful reminder, bonds of family and community endure across distance, and hope is stronger than sorrow. Hold that feeling in your heart for a moment. It was with that same spirit of hope and determination that I embraced my topic last week, climate change, building a resilient Tonga. Because while the challenges we face are real, they do not define us. What defines us is our strength, our unity, and our ability to rise together as people of Tonga. I have seen the resilience of our people, especially in my homelands, my home villages, Talafo'o, Makaonga, Nukuleka, and all the halatahi. Their daily struggles are not just stories of hardships. They are stories of courage, of communities refusing to give up, and of a nation determined to protect its future. As a little girl, growing up here in Tonga, along the shorelines of Talafo'o, was a life of adventure and discovery. I remember sneaking out with my cousins to swim at a very high tide, whāngota at low tide, and crying when they scared me with a peva. Climbing frangipani trees for flowers, and stealing galon kakala from my grandmother's garden to make kahoas for our whakamuna. Riding at the back of my grandfather's van to go to the bush, but instead of helping him, we would climb the orange and guava trees and enjoy the free fruits. Those memories are treasures, reminders of a Tonga where joy and abundance flowed from the land and sea. But now, when I return to my villages in Halatahi, I feel a bittersweet sadness. The shorelines creeps higher every year. The waves that once brought us joy now threaten our homes, our crops, and our way of life. The ocean, our eternal provider, is changing. The buagalosipani by my childhood house blooms less often. The galnikakala that once perfumed my grandmother's home is gone. And the orange and guava trees no longer bear the abundance they once did. Yet, even as I witness these changes, I see more than loss. I see a calling, a call to protect what remains, to restore what has been damaged, and to imagine a future where our children can laugh again by the shoreline, climb trees heavy with fruits, and breathe in the fragrance of flowers that bloom freely. Climate change is not the end of our story. It is the challenge that will define our generation. And together with courage and unity, we can ensure that Tonga's story is one of resilience, renewal, and hope. Climate change is not a distant threat for Tonga. It is our daily reality. Rising sea levels, stronger cyclones, saltwater intrusion into our farmlands, and coral bleaching are not just environmental issues. They are challenges to our survival, our culture, and our future. But we are not powerless. We are a proud people with deep traditions of resilience, unity, and stewardship of the land and sea. Building a resilient Tonga means combining our ancestral wisdom with modern science, our community spirit with innovative solutions. Let me suggest some 3 pillars of resilience for Tonga: strengthening our communities, protecting our environment, building partnerships, and securing resources. At the beginning, I asked you to imagine yourself at the Fuamotu Airport, holding your loved ones close, feeling both the sorrow of parting and the strength of hope. Today, I ask you to carry that same hope into action. Let us commit not tomorrow, someday, but today, to act, plant a tree, restore mangroves, teach our children the value of the land and sea, support renewable energy, stand with our neighbors. Every action, no matter how small, it is a step towards resilience. Malo pito, matua fato.
Miss Lava Lava, you talk about partnership. While climate change impacts everyone in our region, vulnerable groups like elderly people, LGBT community, people with disabilities, and remote outer islands community are often struggle most to access emergency warnings, right? How will you use your platform to ensure our climate adaptation plans are truly inclusive and leaving no one behind?
Thank you. In my speech, I did talk a lot about working together and unity. When we talk about climate change, I know to address these issues, we cannot do it alone. And I believe in the fact that if we work together as people of Tonga in addressing the issues of climate change, using the platform to really help our people and connect with them and their perspectives of climate change, and really help them understand climate change and how it can affect their lives, and therefore finding solutions and ways to be more prepared for the impacts of climate change. Malo pito.
Thank you for that. That was a lovely speech. And that's my passion, climate change and environment. And as a young ambassador for the youth, as everyone looks at the Miss Heilala contestants as ambassadors, it's very important for you to all realise that you are leaders and everyone's watching. We have our part and you have yours. So the question is, what would you do to educate the youth as well as the people about climate change and our role and what we can do to make a difference? As I speak to you now, there's probably an old or high tree that has been chopped down, or a mango tree, or a tamalina tree, people throwing rubbish in the ocean. What would you do to help everyone in the kingdom and the world about educating regarding climate change?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Liz. I believe that what are ways that we can educate our people is create trainings, especially for preparing for natural disasters. I believe if we create trainings for our people and really talk more about climate change and its impacts, we can really help them understand climate change, like I said before. And I believe when they understand climate change, they will avoid contributing to the impacts of climate change, like throwing the rubbish, littering, and using too much plastics, as well as burning the rubbish, because we see that here in Tonga. And I just strongly believe if we really just talk to our people and help them understand climate change more, it could really help them, because our people play a huge role in building Tonga. And so if we really connect with them, we can really help each other and become climate warriors. Malo pito.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the Miss SNS USA 2026, La Lava Kakala Hingoa Ridgel Haida Esau, on her topic of climate change. Before we continue on to contestant number 7 on our pre-pageant interview, we would also once again like to acknowledge the presence of this hour, our current Miss Heilala, Sosiana Tamoipeau, who's done a fabulous job for the year. Sosiana, it was no small feat leaving your home and residing in Tonga and just being an ambassador for our country on so many platforms, not just you, but also your family, your grandma, who has been there for you and your parents. And we'd like to acknowledge Sosiana. So ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for our Miss Heilala, Sosiana Taumatea. Also in our honor this morning, Miss Pacific Islands, welcoming you to our shores once again, Miss Heilala Samuels, Malolele, and thank you for joining us in the 2026 Heilala pageant. With that note, we would like to continue on with our pre-pageant interview. It's my honor to introduce Miss Hawaii Tourism, Maria Stella Koinonia Kaihea, and her topic is youth unemployment.
Tapu ki hamoeofo, me ho'oi ki oi whanua. Tapu at ke tonga koto. Whatap ma ke heni, ke kau ngā whiwhine, o ngā loto lahi ke nau kau whataha he Heilala o tauni. O ko kole ke uhu whanga he talaka kato e whanua mo i lotu. Malo e tau mau ke aho whakoloa koe ni. Pea ko kole ke u whahokope e kulea I he lea whakapilitania. Mo e kaweinga, youth unemployment. Imagine being an 18-year-old and choosing to work to support your family instead of pursuing further education. That young woman was me. This is my story. It is also the reality of many young people in Tonga. Today, I stand before you to speak of youth unemployment, not just as an issue, but as a lived experience and a challenge we must overcome together. Youth unemployment, a growing issue that affects many countries around the world, including the Pacific Island nations, such as Tonga. A topic that is very dear and close to my heart as a youth. What is youth unemployment, may you ask? It refers to the situation where young people who are willing and able to work cannot find jobs. Generally, the term youth refers to people between the ages of 15 to 24 years. Youth unemployment is a major concern because young people represent the future workforces and leaders of society. When they are unable to find employment, it can have serious social and economical consequences. There are several factors that contribute to the youth unemployment. To begin with, there is often a lack of job opportunities in many developing countries. There are not enough jobs available for the growing numbers of young youths entering the workforces. Second, a skills mismatch. Many young people leave school without the skills or experience that employers require. As a result, employers may choose experienced workers. Thirdly, rapid technological changes have transformed many industries. Some traditional jobs have disappeared, while new jobs require social skills that young people may not yet possess. And finally, economic changes, such as recession, natural disasters, and global crisis, can reduce employment opportunities for everyone, especially young workers. Youth unemployment can have significant for young people. Unemployment can lead to financial difficulties, low self-esteem, stress, and loss of motivation. It can also delay important life goals, such as further education, marriage, and starting a family. For communities,
High youth unemployment can contribute to poverty, social inequality, crime, and migration as young people leave their home countries in search of a better opportunity. Economically, countries lost valuable talents and productivity when young people are unable to contribute their skills and energy to workforce. Addressing youth unemployment requires cooperation between young government educational institutions, businesses, and communities, encouraged by supporting young people, encouraging young people who are unable to contribute their skills and energy to workforces. One solution is to encourage entrepreneurship by supporting young people who wishes to start their own businesses. Government can also create employment programs, internships, and apprenticeships that provide young people with valuable work experience. In addition, business can offer training opportunities, entry-level positions that help young people transition from education to employment. In conclusion, youth unemployment is a serious challenge that affects individuals, families, entire nations, while the costs are complicated. Solutions such as better education, skills training, entrepreneurship, job creation can help address the problem. Investing in us, young people of today, I assure you, we can build a stronger nation and brighter future for generations to come. Io, tamatonga, tu'u ngā ue, hokoloa ke whakamonu. Lotu ki e iki maupe, ke ne pōpō I he lotu. Koe whekauia ke tau lotu mo ngā ue. O ko ofalahi atu mo tala monua ke tau tupu kotoa o tonga. He koe kahau o ahoni, koe whanua ia o kahau. Ofalahi atu, malo au pito.
Amen, Mr. Apai. No, thank you for that very informative presentation on youth unemployment, which is one of the big challenges that the kingdom is facing. My question for you is, what role should tourism play in addressing youth unemployment in Tonga?
Thank you for your question. I would say the role for tourism is, for youth unemployment, I would say bring more job opportunities for the government to give chances for the youth to be employed. Even small businesses that they can give more jobs for the young youths.
Malo.
Thank you very much for that wonderful presentation. And this is something that is we're very passionate about, is youth unemployment and education. But my question for you this morning is, what can we do more here in Tonga to help young people find jobs? There's opportunities that are coming into Tonga that are remote jobs, which are companies overseas that employ people here in Tonga to work for companies overseas. So my question is, what can we do as young people to prepare for these opportunities?
I would raise awareness of entrepreneurship. For the youths, I'm sure everyone has a talent. We're not all skilled to work for the government and stuff. So using our talent, I'm sure we're able to find our own part-time there. As for me, I am a barista in a coffee shop, so that is my passion in making coffee. Yeah. I think the key word is just be humble with what you have. maybe we start small, achieving what we have will go on as we carry on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for my Lord Kihe Miss Hawaii Tourism, Maria Stella Koinonia Kaihea. Thank you very much. I'm sure that as our contestant progress with our presentations, the rest of us are enjoying. Me, myself, I have added more knowledge on these topics. Thank you very much. Now, we would like to welcome our next contestant, contestant number 8, Miss Masani Connect, Ministry of Tourism. Teki whaiwa I hakau Tuitawake. Her topic is drug trafficking.
Maloilele and good morning. Please excuse my voice today. I think you have the harder job of trying to hear and understand what I'm saying, so good luck. Drug trafficking. Drug trafficking is the illegal production, transportation, distribution, sale, import, and export of controlled substances. But it is more than the movement of drugs across borders. It is an organized criminal trade that profits from addiction, weakens communities, and turns human suffering into business. At first, this topic may sound like a matter only for police, courts, customs officers, and border security. But in truth, drug trafficking reaches far beyond law enforcement. It crosses oceans, into homes, enters schools, families, churches, and the lives of young people, leaving lasting harm in its wake. According to the United Nations World Drug Report 2025, approximately 316 million people worldwide used drugs in 2023. That is 6% of the world's population aged 15 to 64. The report also states that 64 million people lived with drug use disorders, yet only 1 in 12 received treatment. And for women, only 1 in 18. It reminds us that while drug trafficking generates enormous profits for organized crime, those profits come at the expense of human lives. This shows us that drug trafficking is not an isolated crime. It is a global crisis affecting health, safety, dignity, and human potential. For Tonga and the wider Pacific, this issue is especially serious. Our islands sit across vast ocean pathways. What once felt like distance and protection can now be exploited by criminal networks. The World Drug Report warns that methamphetamine trafficking has increased in several small island countries across Oceania and the Pacific. This means the Pacific is not only witnessing the global drug crisis from afar. We are part of the route, part of the risk, and therefore we must be part of the response. This reality has also been acknowledged by our own national leadership. At the opening of Tonga's first national symposium on illicit drugs in 2021, His Majesty, King George VI, reminded us, our beloved country is no longer free of drugs, but rather very much part of the global struggle against illicit drugs. This is not just a problem for the police to deal with. This is a national issue that requires an urgent, integrated national response. His Majesty's words remind us that drug trafficking is not merely a law enforcement issue. It is a national issue that demands the commitment of families, churches, schools, communities, government, and every citizen. Criminal networks do not see our islands as sacred homes. They see routes, they see markets, they see opportunities. But to us, Tonga is not a route. Tonga is family. Tonga is faith. Tonga is heritage. Tonga is the place where generations before us taught respect, service, humility, and responsibility. Drug trafficking attacks these values. It weakens families,
tempts vulnerable youth, increases violence, burdens our health system, and places pressure on communities that are small, close, and deeply connected. Families are torn apart. Young people lose their dreams and their potential. In a large country, one statistic may disappear into a report, but in Tonga, one affected life is a family name, a village story, and a future interrupted. As a Fifine Tonga, I believe our response must begin with wisdom. Those who traffic drugs and profit from destruction must be held accountable. Our justice system must protect our people. Those who fall into addiction must not be treated as disposable. They are still sons and daughters who carry divine worth. They need treatment, guidance, accountability, and a path back to dignity. My answer to drug trafficking is built on 4 principles: prevention, protection, partnership, and compassion. Prevention means educating our youth early before traffickers reach them and before addiction takes root. Protection means strengthening families, schools, churches, law enforcement, and our borders. Partnership means Pacific nations working together because no island can confront a transnational crime alone. Compassion means helping those already affected to heal, recover, and return to lives of purpose. So I leave you with one question. What kind of Tonga do we want to leave for our children and future generations? Will it be a Tonga weakened by drugs, violence, and broken families? Or will it be a Tonga built on faith, strong family values, compassion, and hope? I believe the future of Tonga need not be written by the hands of traffickers, but by the courage of its people. Our heritage teaches us who we are. Our responsibility is to protect who we are becoming. Aloha.
What kind of Tonga would you like to see in your future?
I would like to see a Tonga where we explain to our youth, our people, the whys of why we want to protect Tonga instead of just the what. Because it is one thing to tell people not to do this or not to do that, but if you explain to them the why, help them to have pride in their country and what it is that we are building here in Tonga, that will encourage them, especially the young people, to protect their choices and to be stronger, build strong moral characters, and be able to be great leaders, contributing members in our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Your question at the end of your presentation goes with my question. The Pacific has increasingly been described as an international superhighway for drug cartels transshipping. Illicit substances like methamphetamine, cocaine to larger markets. So, as an ambassador, or a youth ambassador, how would you balance the need for stricter border enforcement with community-led rehabilitation programs to save the next generation from the devastation of drug or abuse?
I think as an ambassador, I should focus on things I can realistically influence, and that would include raising awareness, prevention, partnerships, and youth empowerment. I think it's very important that we start to have these important conversations. It may be a little uncomfortable and scary at times, but I think by starting to have these conversations with each other, we can come together as a collective and work towards a solution. And I think this applies to all the topics that my contestants have spoken on, is that the most important thing we do is to start speaking, but not to just stop there. It is important that we follow through with action and try to see measurable results, outcomes, results. And if we are not seeing that, then it is important that we take the steps to ensure that we're making progress, that there is something happening, some change, some progress, because that is how we can see a better Tonga.
Tia Ihakau Tuitavake on her topic, drug trafficking. It is my pleasure to switch sides of the room and introduce contestant number 9. We have here Miss Tonga Australia 2026, Antibenyana Taliauli, with her topic, labor shortages in Pacific countries due to seasonal employment schemes. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Atmenyana Taliauli.
Malolele, distinguished judges, honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen. Imagine arriving at Heilala Hospital only to discover that there are not enough nurses to care for your loved ones. Imagine children walking into Fasi Primary School only to find that there are no teachers waiting in their classrooms. Would we call that progress? Labour shortages are not simply about vacant jobs. They are about the well-being of our people, the resilience of our communities, and the future of our nation. Today, I invite you to reflect on one of the Pacific's greatest opportunities and one of its greatest leadership challenges: labour shortages in Pacific countries due to the seasonal employment scheme. While this issue affects many Pacific nations, today I will focus on Tonga, drawing on my perspective as Miss Tonga Australia and as someone committed to strengthening the future of our kingdom. At its heart, this topic asks one important question: how do we balance the opportunity abroad with resilience at home? The program has created significant opportunities for both Australia, New Zealand, and Pacific families. For Tonga, these opportunities have been life-changing. Research from the Development Policy Centre at the Australian National University found that Tonga now earns more through labour mobility with Australia than from Australian aid and trade combined. That tells us that our people have become one of our nation's greatest economic assets. Yet every opportunity also brings responsibility. Contrary to what many people may believe, Tonga is not running out of people. Rather, we are experiencing shortages of the right skills in the right places at the right time. While seasonal employment contributes to this challenge, it is one of several factors requiring thoughtful workforce planning. Labour shortages extend far beyond employment. They affect our essential services, businesses, and families. Healthcare providers face ongoing challenges in retaining experienced nurses and other skilled professionals. While labour mobility has improved many families' lives through remittances, it has also required sacrifices through long periods of family separation. These realities remind us that labour mobility is not simply an economic issue, it is also a social and a human one. So how should Tonga respond? As a nation, we should not view this issue as a choice between labour mobility and national development. Instead, we should ask how labour mobility can become a driver of national development. Tonga has already recognised this challenge through its labour mobility supply management strategy, which seeks to strengthen workforce planning while continuing to embrace labour mobility. This balanced approach also reflects His Majesty King Topo VI's vision of embracing the benefits of labour mobility while strengthening Tonga's workforce at home. That commitment is strategy in which supports both opportunity abroad and resilience at home. As Miss Strong Australia, I have the privilege of understanding that both the opportunities labour mobility creates and our shared responsibility to strengthen communities at home. To me, this is not a question of choosing between Tonga and Australia. It is about strengthening the partnership between them. When we work together with shared purpose, labour mobility becomes more than employment. It becomes an investment in people, stronger families, and a more resilient Pacific region. Understanding the issue is only the beginning. True leadership is measured by the solutions we are willing to pursue. If we want labour mobility to strengthen Tonga for generations to come, I believe our response should focus on 3 priorities. First, we must empower our people. Second, we must strengthen Tonga's workforce. And third, we must strengthen regional partnerships. Earlier this year, at the 2026 State of the Pacific Conference, Samoa's Prime Minister, Whaiama Naomi Mata'afa, shared a vision that deeply resonated with me. I want a Samoa where people want to stay and where they have a stake. I share that same vision for Tonga. A Tonga where our people are free to pursue opportunities abroad, but where they are equally inspired to return home, invest their talents and help build a stronger nation. Our ancestors crossed the Pacific Ocean in Waka, guided by courage, wisdom and hope. Today, Tongans continue that journey in search of opportunity. That challenge before us is not whether our people should leave. The challenge is ensuring they return with greater knowledge, greater experience, and a greater hope to strengthen the nation they proudly call home. Our responsibility is to ensure every opportunity contributes to a stronger Tonga, because our greatest resource has never been our land, nor our oceans. Our greatest resource has always been our people. Malo pito tua wahata.
Thank you for that. I believe you've answered a lot of questions with your speech. Labour mobility is a double-edged sword in the kingdom. Economically, it is a blessing where it's helping families as well as building their homes, educating their children. But for the economy of businesses and government as well, we're suffering. How would you put a plan together to assist government, who is the doorway to this, to help the economy and also keep people here so they have jobs within private sector and within government?
Yeah, thank you for that question. I do agree with you that the labour mobility scheme has become one of Tonga's greatest development opportunities. It indeed has helped improve the lives of thousands of people, having provided a valuable income and valuable work experience, and restricting those opportunities would not address the real-life challenge. The evidence suggests that, as I said, is not an experience of shortage of workers, but rather the shortage of the skills and experiences that we need in Tonga. One thing I did observe while coming here to Tonga was that a lot of our business owners are from overseas. And I think that many of our locals don't actually understand or realise, acknowledge that there is potential and growth in Tonga. As an example, my media team, my brothers, they started their media business when they were straight out of high school. No, they weren't given any education around that. They didn't go to school. They learned that by themselves.
Can I just stop you there?
Yes.
Can you answer my question, please?
Sure, sorry.
Actually, 80% of Tonga businesses are Tongan.
Yeah.
So please answer my question.
Yeah, sorry. Apologies. Could you just ask that question again to clarify?
So in short, what would you do to encourage government to put a scheme together that can also keep labourers here and skilled workers here as well?
Yeah. Sorry. So one of the things I would suggest and recommend that our Tongan government put together is that we actually really focus on in the education vocation sector of how we can train our youth, how we can mobilise the skills that they need to pursue their dreams. As stated before in the example that I had suggested, so many of our youth have the potential, but they don't have the resources that they need to pursue those dreams. And I say that in the example of my media team, there isn't, they weren't given the opportunity to learn filming and cinematography. They had to learn that on their own. And so I believe when the government does implement programs in which that's implemented into schools where they can learn the skills that they need rather than going overseas, maybe bringing in overseas people come to Tanoa instead, and implement workshops where they can teach and train our students, or even provide scholarships to our students to go overseas and come back with new knowledge. They can therefore use those skills and knowledge in pursuing their dreams and of course teaching other younger people as well.
For the presentation. I've said in a lot of presentations in the past couple of years the challenges the tourism industry is facing, losing a lot of hospitality workers, and I've been involved in these programs. So if you want to talk to the tourism industry about the positives, I mean, how can the tourism industry actually benefit from the labor focus if you're set up this tourism industry?
Yeah, thank you for that question. I think the tourism will benefit from the labour mobility scheme. Firstly, because it allows people to, first of all, address the fact that if we show people, our locals, as I was corrected by the judge, 80% of our businesses are Tongan locals. If we showcase more of our businesses and our locals, and in advertisements, campaigning that really, and actually not just showing it on TV or Instagram or we always see those commercials, but actually going out to them and actually getting their stories and experiences of how they actually built up their businesses and the skills and knowledge they were going through to start their own business. We can also that knowledge and provoke more people to, I want to also start a business as well. I say that in the fact that there is an emphasis on storytelling in our Pacific culture, and when we put that not only to our older generations to tell the stories of our culture and traditions, but how we can implement that in storytelling in our businesses, I think that way we can help the tourism promote that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Ms. Angelina Natalia Uri, Miss Tanoa Australia 2026. If you are grown up by their knowledge today, this afternoon, wait till you see their room. So we invite you again to Heilala Indoor Stadium tonight for their tower. Now let's continue on. Let's introduce our next contestant, number 10.
Contestant number 10, Mr. Praxis, New Zealand 2026.
Kathleen Monica Soana. Her topic is tourism.
Sorry, before we continue, can I just get everybody to stand up, please, just because we've had a long... Everybody, please. Just have a little stretch, and I want you to turn to the person next to you and say, you look lovely today. Okay, thank you. They all sit back down now. ki he tolu tahai o tua. O tua ko tamai alo mo lau mali e maoni oni. Sen tuia ni ewa o kelesi ko ia, mo e tui ko ia ho tau pule angani. O ka tau katoa ngai, hono tuku whakaholo, pa kune whalu te hakahau, e tu uloa mo kau a whakalangi. Distinguished guests, judges, my fellow contestants, ladies and gentlemen, ho'eki mo tau ka inga. Welcome to the Kingdom of Tonga. Local time is 12 p.m. and the temperature is 26 degrees. May you enjoy stay here in the friendly islands. Imagine a place where untouched turquoise water meets pristine white sand beaches, where Polynesian traditions are proudly preserved, and where every visitor is welcomed like family. The Kingdom of Tonga is one of the South Pacific's best kept secrets, offering an authentic island experience unlike any other. Tourism is a powerful contribution in the economy of many nations. Here in Tonga, it generates 11% of our GDP and sustains about 9% of total employment. That's about 4,000 jobs. Ecotourism and adventure tourism, tours for the elderly, child-friendly tourism are all on the rise internationally. For instance, in Vava'u, it is known for whale watching. In Ewa, tourists can captivate vantage points like the Li Angahuo, the sandy beaches of Ho Malai in Ha'apai, and the Fungavailahi in Niuafo'ou, and the Vaigo Niutoua in Niuatoptapu. Families are the heart of our culture. As our motto, Tonga mo'unga ki he loto. We Tongans live, work, pray, worship, celebrate, laugh, and cry together in families. Togetherness is what we are longing for. Family and social tourism fits nicely with the celebration of the 200 years of Christian faith with the Free Wesleyan Church Conference participants, visiting historical landmarks in Hihifo, known as the landing site of Christianity in Tonga, including Whangolua, the memorial plaque for the first sacraments at Kanokupolu, and the memorial plaque at Akoteu Nasaleti in Kolovai. It is our duty to look after our environment with the Ministry of Tourism implementation of the Connect 25 campaign and the No Balestiki campaign. This should be an ongoing strategy for Tongan, extending it to the outer islands. We as Tongans are the real hearts, yours and mine, shared with the other tourists. Hearts beating in tune with our families and our faith and with love. Tourism is just as much as your responsibility as it is mine. From your crew, contestant number 10, Miss Approxis New Zealand 2026. Thank you for flying with Air Tonga Masani, Tua Ofa'atu.
Thank you very much for that wonderful presentation. As you mentioned, tourism is everyone's responsibility, right? So what can young people do to help visitors enjoy Tonga while keeping our country clean and beautiful? We've been here the last 2 weeks, and what we've noticed is just how clean it is.
Yes.
And what can we do what can we do to help the young people continue to help visitors enjoy all of our tourist attractions at the same time keeping our culture and our kingdom clean and beautiful?
Thanks for the question. I think running little initiatives as just like the previous campaign that the Minister of Tourism ran, the Tong Masani Connect campaign, the purpose was to direct the message for hospitality, unity, and pride. And at the end of the program, there were rewards. So the reward was shown as a motivation to push these young people, as well as their families as well, to work together to welcome the locals as well as the visitors coming from overseas.
Thank you. I really like how you said that families are the heart of our culture. And our culture is the heart of tourism in Tonga. How are you going to promote to the people of Tonga, because you said it's togetherness, that heart is the core context of our culture?
Thank you. To me, one of the strengths that us Tongan people have is tali tali kakai lele. We're known as the friendly ones. To me, to capture the heart of people, when you first encounter at the airport, it gives them a warm feeling and leads them to come not into the country but persuading other visitors as well to come with their friends and their family as well. That's the motivation behind by just that's a way of bringing in more international as well as domestic visitors.
2026, Kathleen Monica Soana Vayatangtao on her topic of tourism. Moving on with our pre-pageant interview for this hour to contestant number 11, it is my honor to introduce Miss Lady Maria Tonga Australia, Silia Sitoafa Matelau. And her topic of presentation for this hour is digital safety and cyberbullying amongst youth.
Malola malie aho eiki, moilele e tonga kotoa. Ko kuingoa ko Silia Sitoafa Matelau. Today my topic is digital safety and cyberbullying amongst the youth. And before I start, I just want to acknowledge the 4 pillars of our Tongan culture. Mamahi imea, loyalty and passion, lototo, humility, and the 2 that I really want to focus on is whakaapapa, respect, and tahiva, nurturing relationships. Today, our youth in Tonga are living in 2 completely different worlds. One physical, of our schools, their sports, communities, and homes, and then one on social media. Both influence identity, confidence, and well-being. Social media has created opportunities for connection, education, and expression, but it has also created new spaces for harm. While harsh words face-to-face come with many consequences, harsh words that can be typed through a screen can affect our youth in the safety of their own homes here in Tonga. Now, what is cyberbullying? Harassment through comments and messaging, body shaming, public shaming, rumors and gossip, and fake accounts. Research shows that 1 in 3 people globally have been affected by cyberbullying, and these effects are long-lasting. Victims are more likely to have anxiety, depression, and low self-esteem. Use of social media for our youth increases every single day, and they're exposed to a lot of good and a lot of bad, which makes digital safety even more urgent for our islands. If we leave our youth with no safe spaces, no support, and no one to listen to, it will only put the leaders of tomorrow in the dark and isolated. The context for Tonga. We are very strong communally, and reputation matters deeply. Gossip can spread very fast with our small communities, and online harm can feel very inescapable. Thankfully, Tonga has been very proactive in increasing awareness of digital harm through legal accountability and stronger moderation of public online spaces. An example is the Electronic Communication Abuse Offenses Act in 2020, and one as well is limiting commenting on many live streams, even like the Heilala event that I saw last year. And I'm very thankful for this because me and our 14 contestants here are very protected, and we feel honored to be here and be welcomed and be able to represent and share our dreams confidently and not to be very afraid of what might come. We are already being judged by each one of you, and it's a lot to be faced on the big screens as well. So malo apito for that. And my own experience, having built a social media platform, I've witnessed both encouragement and harassment in my years. I've learned that online voices and many voices in this world should not define my identity or any of yours. I choose not to give power to the lies because I know who I am, whose I am, and the identity that I stand on. Youth of Tonga and everyone listening here today, as we acknowledge the 200 years here in Tonga, celebrating grace and faith and Christianity here in Tonga, be rooted in who the Lord has made you. Your identity is only found in Christ. So when you listen to the voices on social media and messages, it's lies. It's a lie from the enemy. You're each created for a purpose, and you are beautifully and wonderfully made. So to end this out, Polopetu'u heko e ngalu e fasi. Stand firm, for the wave will break. Malo apito.
That's all right. I was taking time so you can get your emotional.
Thank you.
You need to be stronger like your sponsor.
She's crying too.
Digital safety and cyberbullying amongst youth. As social media becomes central of the lives of Pacific youth, we are seeing a rise in online harassments and cyberbullying. How would you use your platform to advocate for safer digital spaces and teach young people how to protect their mental health online?
Malo apito for the question.
With my social media platform, I've always made it, I need to be real with everyone. And so I don't just show the glitz and glam. Even with this Heilala journey, I chose to show behind the scenes in these months, just according to it, getting prepped for it, because everyone goes through something in their life. We can be very strong, but there's always things that happen as well. So I don't just show the good days that I'm going through, I also show the hardships that I go through and how I get through it with the Lord. My relationship with the Lord is the only reason that I can withstand things that come in my way and in my life and those hardships. And I encourage the people on my platform to do the same as well. With my close family and friends, when they come to me, I pray with them and I champion them to keep going. So with my social media platform, and if I were to have the opportunity to be here in Tonga longer and to teach the young people how they can use it even better, I would love to do that.
Thank you for such a powerful speech with regards to cyberbullying. Social media, as we know, connects us, but also hurts us. And if we're not careful, it affects our mental state as well. Cyberbullying is very real, and with that, and the youth, we have a lot of suicide. How would you teach not only the youth, but everyone about proper etiquette with regards to using the social media?
Just thinking about anga whakatonga and how, as Tongans, we hold that respect and tauhiwa with nurturing relationships, that it leads into every sector of our life, including social media. So that Tongan proverb of laying out the mat and making safe spaces to talk about arguments as well and things that happen within our family, I believe is very important, rather than jumping on Facebook and just going at it and talking bad about our family when we have disputes. That can not only affect the one person, but it affects the whole community, because as Tongans, we don't just go as one. We are a community. There are many people behind me as well. And so, did I answer it a bit? I think I lost it a little bit, but Mala apito.
Let's welcome our next contestant, number 12. Contestant number 12, Mr. Walofa Resort. Lelupe Ongosia Itau Toki. The topic is cost of living and inflation in the Pacific Islands. Malo.
Malo lele tonga kotoa. My name is Melelupe Ongosiapiu Tautongi, and my topic is the cost of living and inflation in the Pacific Islands. Among the quiet shores of our islands, creeping along the trees of our farmland, traveling quite literally across the waters that connect us, all lies a disruption to our peace, somewhat a predatory beast. This beast lies at the forefront of the hearts and minds of every Pacifica person, steadily increasing in size with each passing year. The beast I'm referring to is the cost of living and inflation in the Pacific. Today, I invite you to look this beast in the face as we explore what feeds it, how it affects our people, and the practical solutions that can help us tame it. Allow me to take a brief moment to hone in our beloved kingdom. According to the International Monetary Fund, which is an organization that helps countries maintain stable economies, the projected inflation rate of Tonga in the current year, 2026, is 3.8%. While this figure is lower than the high inflation experienced in recent years, it does not tell the whole story. Many Tongan families continue to struggle because prices for essential goods remain much higher than they were before the pandemic, while wages have not increased at the same pace. So what exactly feeds this beast? The Pacific faces unique challenges that make the cost of living higher than in many other parts of the world. Our islands are geographically isolated, meaning that much of what we rely on, from food and fuel to medicine and construction materials, must travel thousands of kilometers by sea or air before reaching our shores. Thus, I present to you my first critical point in understanding inflation: importation. Tonga imports the majority of its essential goods because these necessities must cross vast oceans before arriving in our ports. Every increase in global shipping costs or fuel prices is eventually reflected on the shelves of our local stores. We are not merely paying for the product itself, we are paying for the journey it took to reach us. The consequences extend far beyond economics. Families are forced to make difficult choices between paying for food, electricity, school supplies, or medical care. Small businesses struggle to absorb rising operating costs, while farmers and fishermen spend more simply to continue earning a living. Although wages have increased in some sectors, they have not kept pace with these rising expenses, leaving many households with less purchasing power than they once had. Fortunately, every beast has a weakness. One of the greatest opportunities for Tonga lies beneath our very own feet, in our own soil. By investing more heavily in local agriculture, community gardens, and sustainable farming, we can reduce our dependence on imported food. Every fruit grown locally, every vegetable harvested from our own land, and every fish caught sustainably in one less product that must travel across the ocean before reaching our dinner tables. Supporting local farmers also strengthens our economy. Instead of sending millions of dollars overseas to purchase imported foods, more of that money remains within our own communities, creating jobs, supporting local businesses, and increasing food security for future generations. The beast of inflation cannot be defeated overnight. There will always be global events beyond our control. Yet, we can decide how vulnerable we choose to be. By strengthening local agriculture, supporting Pacific businesses, and reducing our dependence on imported goods, we begin to shrink the very beast that has burdened our families for so long. The Pacific has always been a region defined by resilience. Our ancestors crossed oceans with courage and ingenuity, building thriving communities with the resources around them. If they could overcome the vastness of the sea, surely we can overcome the challenges before us today. The beast may be daunting, but together, it is one we are capable of taming. This concludes my presentation. Malo Alpito.
Ms. Likualofa, have you had an opportunity to advise the leaders on one policy to address inflation? What would it be and why?
Thank you so much for the question. So, if I had one policy that I could address to the leaders about inflation, it would have to be, instead of relying too much on imported goods from overseas, we can try to be out there and support our local businesses. Especially here in Tonga, being out here, so used to seeing, small shops, small local vendors on the side of the streets. It's really nice. So I think that could be one of my policies, or maybe an advice to leaders out there. We have small business out there. Do what we can as Tongans, or even the Pacific as a nation. Go out there and show support to them, show support to their business.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your presentation. And yeah, inflation is something that we are all dealing with. My question is, if you were to become Ms. Heilala and you were to use your platform, how would you, you were talking about the cost of living being very high and financial stuff. How would you be able to use your platform to educate families about financial literacy and other opportunities so that they can be financially resilient?
Thank you so much for that question. Well, if I were to be crowned Miss Heilala,
the way that I would use my platform to spread awareness, but also help educate those out there about inflation. So back home, well, for my work, I am a U.S. Navy service member. So what I would do with that platform, I would use my resources and my connects back home in the States, maybe could help do more connections out here with, let's say, the Tonga's Navy out here. We can help build maybe workshops, even training sessions, especially for financial literacy. So we can also help educate those families, even the youth, to be aware and learn how they can know how to use resources correctly and maintain it in a really good way. So, yes, that's how I would use my platform. Malo Apito.
And of course, her topic of presentation was cost of living and inflation in the Pacific Islands. I now introduce contestant number 13, Ms. Wava'u Tourism 2026. We have Sidaisa Funaki, and her topic of presentation is on health.
I would like to acknowledge the presence of the Almighty in our midst, our guest of honor, our distinguished guest, and my fellow participants, and my beautiful people of Tonga. Today, I stand before you to speak on a topic celebrating our heritage and embracing our future in health, which involve each and every one of us, our family, our community, and the future of our beloved kingdom. In Tonga, we are blessed with rich tradition, strong faith, a deep sense of community. We celebrate life through food, gatherings, and culture. But today, we are also facing a quiet challenge, one that is growing yet preventable. Many of our people are struggling with non-communicable disease, such as diabetes, heart disease, and obesity. These are not just statistics. These are our parents, our siblings, our children. But today, I do not stand here to focus on fear. I stand here to share hope and responsibilities. Health is not just about the absence of sickness. It is about how we live every single day, how we eat, how we move, how we care for our mind, and how we support one another. First, let us talk about nutrition. Our ancestors lived from the land and sea. They ate fresh fish, root crops like kumala and talo, fruits like mango, papaya, and pineapple like we have in Wawa'u. These foods are not only a part of our identity, they are a part of our solution. By returning to nature-balanced diets and reducing processed food, we can restore strength to our bodies and pride to our culture. Second, let us talk about physical activity. We do not need a gym to be healthy. In Tonga, movement is all around us. Walking to church, working in plantation, dancing in celebration. When we move, we honor the body that God has given us. Even a simple daily activity can prevent illness and improve our quality of life. Third, we must not forget about mental and emotional health. Life today brings many pressures, financial struggles, expectation, and changes in our society. It is important that we speak openly, support one another, and find strength in our faith and family. True health includes peace of mind, not just physical strength. Taking a purposeful break or resting is an initial part of our health balanced life. Rest is not a sign of laziness. It is a vital, physical, and mental requirement. We are blessed to live in a country that has a law allowing us to rest on Sundays. This is not only a commandment from God, but it is also important to our health. Nowadays, many people suffer from health issues due to lack of rest and stress. And I would like to share a personal experience that I've lost one of my loved ones, which is my father. I know that he was a healthy, active, and a hardworking man. And he really loved us. And he would try his best to work every day to provide for our family. And I hardly see him have any time for himself. He hardly gets some rest. However, I learned that he often did not take enough time to rest. I share this because it made me realize how important it is to take care of our bodies by getting enough rest and maintaining balance in our lives. As a young woman of Tonga, I believe we have the power to inspire change. We can be role models for our family and our nation. We can choose healthier lifestyle, not just for ourselves, but for our loved ones and the generation to come. Imagine a Tonga where our children grow up strong and active, where our elders live longer and healthier. That Tonga is possible, and it begins with each and every one of us. Let us not wait for tomorrow. Let us start today. With one healthy meal, one walk, one encouraging word, and proper rest. Small action create powerful changes. In closing, I would love to leave with you this message. When we take care of our health, we take care of our future. When we take care of ourselves, we take care of Tonga. And that's what we want, a happy, healthy Tonga in our future. Maloa pito, and may God bless you.
Thank you, Ms. Funaki, and for the emotional sharing that she did. I really like the fact that you mentioned that health is all about how we eat. You know, I always call it, we have to eat right, and also movements as well as resting. But you know, in the Tongan mentalities, resting is like sleeping all day, but that's not what we want. That would be very unhealthy. So as an ambassador of the Heilala pageant 2026, how are you going to promote those definitions of being healthy?
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much for the question. Sorry, can I answer it in Tongan? If you don't mind. Tali whakauka ko te ki ai, ko tui ko taha ngai whaunga te tau lawai o whakaloto lahi, pe whamalohi o tau kai ngā tonga, te nau maha ngai, aha mo ui lelei, ko e tau kamata koe whangi step sisi, o te tau horo ki tau manga la lahi tau toruia, i ke ilo pe te tau wao tau toruia ki he call ko tau whotu ke he, tau kamata koe whangi step ui, ki hange pen nau lawe ki mua he ku speech, sorry. Ko tau whanki ngau e whakaaho, tene lawa tau ni ak tau ki tau mai ui mo leri he. Hange ko ki tawhtafi ko i api, ko ki mopi, ko ho api uta, ki tuwhi niu, o skau e tau koni ko ki ho tau mo leri he. Na ko ki vai ko ki au sia na ki taim nau hangai o sele ki kolge ki whakahoro. Ta nau lawa ki Jimmy, ko ali cardio, o ai ki ni Tanoa ai, pau ale wa ke weightlifting i, pau hori au e ke o alo ka mata he whanki tampela ko kilo i rie, ala he ke tampela ko kilo i wanima. O mena hau ke ina whasi ni ma, pau whakamuho sia puke, pau whokrewa ki api, ke te sia ke Jimmy o au me ke aho. Ka ko ia ko whala he tau kamata i ki te he, ke te mao ke tau tuoto a fusumpa, ko wai taha we, tau kamata le whangi ngau whaka aha ko ia tau api ko te lawa tōtoni ke tau moi le lau pita.
Whawhaolahi. Everything about Wawau is vague. Just hopefully they follow the NCD policies. You can answer this in Tongan if you want. As we face, we're currently facing some of the highest rates on non-communicable diseases, like diabetes, obesity in the Pacific. As a national ambassador, or Ms. Heilala, contestant, what specific culturally respectful initiatives would you champion to encourage younger generation to embrace traditional Tongan diets and active lifestyles? We know that our Tongan traditional diets is quite hard, but you know, we've been blessed with all these ashes from the eruption and everything is lush now. So instead of buying expensive grapes and all those things in the market, there's local produce that we can use for our diet, right? And how would you do it? What would be your way of doing it to get our younger generation, me and Charlotte in our age group, me and Liz in our age group, to go back to that diet, to look fabulous until 80-year-old?
Whamalot pe ke whehui ko tuku mai ko ki tari whakaukate mo ki pōpō. Ko ilo peo ku whaingata ke tau whakahoko ngai kai mo ilele I he tūnga whapaanga o tau iai. Ko ngai koloa ku mamafa. Pea ko pōpō te I o usai pe ke tau whoki ke tau tai I he taimi ko e taunga ake te tau lava peo o kiwhi mahi tātou ke mā ke tio ko mang whangwhui ka lepi mo whangwhui strawberry ko a pere nusi la pālangi. O ko te tau lava peo toa whangki furuti whai a kau I o taunga hi api hange ko le si mo whainā ko na vai ki mua mo kore mege ka wapau ka mau sena to mo whainā ifo. I o te tau lava peo toa whangki mea kai o ni api lava ke tau maa ke ko ngai vesta polo ko tau ko lava ke tau maa whanki whaifua tau toa pe o tau api pa lava ke tau kai whaka aho mi ai ke te more a tau paa ngai ka tau lava o iyo o toka ngai e tau kai mosio o ku balance pe ai mea ko toa ka koe wharato lahe peki he tau tō pū ke just to prevent ai hapani I stroke, my cancer, diabetes me o mea te he ki whakafofua ai hifta paka o te mokona, te mohala ke ngai mea ko ia. Koe taimi ko te mo taofe ngai mea ko ia, lava ke mo toko ni mo tolu, ke mo maha sino mo ilelei, pake ke mo mate vawe ai, ke mo tahi aange, ka mo livianka, hange koko e. Iyo, koe te malo.
Wawahu Tourism, Sudai Funaki. Thank you very much. That's our 13th contestant. Now for our 14th contestant. There's Miss Tonga Tourist Association, Sepiuta Malamala. And I think her topic triggers all of everything that we're going to do. Mental health.
Whakatulo atu. Ko hoki ngoa ko Sepiuta Malamala, ko e Contestant whikataha whaau, o ko whawhawhonga e atu, ai Tonga Tourist Association. I ono aho, ka aloha tangata Tonga o Tautai, o kune whaohange eskelea, I he ene kato whangota. Ka oho vale kuone matangia pe whaingata ia I Oseni, o kune puhi ene nge eskele a, ko ui tokoni ki uta. Ko hono whakahao whi, e malawa peia e hiiwi o toko lahi o ki uta. Ko eko ka venga lea ki aho ni, ko mental health, pe ko muui lelei whakaata mai. Ko tau toko lahi, o kuna rolotonga matangia whakaata mai I waha. O kuna puhi mai e nau nge eskele a, ke tau o ngona se nau I toko ni. Ke tau kau whakataha mua ke pātolo aki ai mo ilelei au tau ngahi ata mai. He koe koloa whungani ia o klau kau aki e tonga. Koe li pōte ai kau taha muui a mamani, WHO, o kulaka hake I he toko taha piliona ai kakai I mamani o whiau, mai palema whakamui lelei o ata mai. Ka I tongani, koe peseti pe e ono, o tau kakai o mo uai. Whakafuafua ki he hono awhe te au waunoa nai. Pea ia toko hono awhe te au waunoa ko ia. Koe peseti e hiwa ono, pe mei toko hono awhe ia, o ku te eki malawa, ke nau mau hatokoni, mi hatoke tā, pe tau kei I he malae o mo ulelei whakaata mai. Koe si kakai pe ene o tau whiohi wa awhi, whakaaho, koe tamai mo whae, koe kau taki e pule anga, kau taki lotu, kau ngau e whakapule anga, kau whakalele pisnisi, koe kau sipoti, koe si kakai o tōkanga mo whalehanga, koe si whanau wako, pea kawai mo ki taua buta i heni e ahoni. O kunau si mafasia whakalongolongo pe. I o katopa wanoa wanima, nai whakatu ai e tokta mapapuloka, mo i pot ngau e mohui atonga, a mental health, strategy and policy, ke toka ngai kina e mohui lelei whakaiata mai ho tau kakai. Taim tatau, o toko lahi pe ni i o kai malava, ke kumi tokoni, ke ngai prokalama peheni. Koi ai, o ko whakatu whakaukau atu, ke tau mea ngawe, aki mua ho tau ngai unga ngā tu whanua, he ko tau hufanga anga, whika o waki peia. O kange e ni ko hawha e, muhane pepe, ai uluaki whai ako pe ai whae ki he pepe i api. Koe whe whakaapa-apa aki, he mutual respect, koe poutuli kia o e tau no whakatonga. O ku tau whakalongolongoi, ai mea lahi, koe whakaapa-apa ki o tau ngahi kupu whekau aki. Ke tau te whakawhotunga fo o mua ai whakaapa-apa aki, e tau whanoa ki ati ki nau tolu, mo oua te tau whai whakamau. Pe tau tokai, mo malui ko tau ngongolelei. Koe humility, pe anga whakaaki-aki mui, koe tau tuku ho tau kita, ka tau ngā unu, ke tuunga ta tau meni i koe ni. Ke tau talia mo toka ngai kina, pe oua te tau whakasio kehe, mo toa maa pe ki nau tolu. Koe uho o e tau hi waha a, koe ikai ke mui whakawhotui. Koe si kai haa, koe si pe e te tokoni, ka apu te asi pe, he ne tokoni, ka apu ne maho inga ia. Ke tau whakaha mo whakahino-hino ke he ni ihi koe ni, o ku tau iai ma ki nau tolu, mo fia, ke kau whakataha mau pe. Koe loyalty pe mamahi mea, o kune hai whakataha e tau tui whakaristeane, pia mai loto ofa. O ku ikai ke tau teke i ai ni ihi koe ni, ka aku tau hake aki, mo whakamahino o iai ho nau nge ia, nea mo e nau puputuu whakai ata mai. Koe ofa me honga ia ai tonga, o kune mo unga pe ki hono loto. Si kau whawhine Miss Heilala, koe kau tala whekau ki tau tolu ke kahau o tonga, ke tau wheboko waki mua i ngau e ake whai ka wikoula, koe kupenga ia ke tau lalanga aki, ke ne malu i ai mo ui whakalele whakai ata mai ai tonga. Koe si ia moe o i kele a, i me he o se ni. Koe tau tuu whakataha, kai malahi ha whanua. He uke ha turuta, aonga ki he ha, ka whakatahani turuta, e whanulewa ai huna. Malo au pito o whātu.
Thank you very much for your speech. Mental health is very real, and a lot suffer in silence. And we have many Tongans who suffer from this. What would you do as a Heilala ambassador to break the silence so that people aren't ashamed to come forward and say they seek help? Where they can go to as well.
Thank you for the question. In my opinion, is counseling. Counseling is very important for our youth. I he wanoa woa na e malolo ai e tahau ku ki tonga ane. Ko e ku mātātonu ia i he puputuu, ko e taha ia i mental health. Ko e mea pena e whai he family, ko e lotu mo e talatala noa. Counseling, it is a proven method of healing i he mental health. Ke kamata i he siasi, mo e ako, ha mea pehe ke toko ni lahi ki he youth. Pe pau lewa ke enforce ai confidentiality, ke uhinga, ke open up ai tonga, ke lava o vahe mai, ai palapalema mental health, he koe uhi, he uhiai ai ni ihi a te tautoru, o ku nau mā, e ke lava ke nau vahe mai e nau mental health. Mahalo koe, thank you.
Hello to Miss Malamala, Whakapungai mai Tonga Tourist Association. Maka whiu whakao si ben e kaupungama. Ka koe, e topi maho inga o topi nei e wesi a whakaihata mai. Peki ngā rapi tau tupu, ka upehe pe mautolu ka Heilala. Tok tau tok si tua den, tok laman hata e wha tau si tua tu mei he COVID. Pea moe pāko na mo ngā whi, unga tonga, ngā apai. Ko sektoa ne ue sia lahi taha ai, ko sektoa tak mamata. Nai toa pe se te tolungo furu, e ngai pisnisi, e ngai pea ue tsunami. Pea, ukulahi e tau sio ko ngai pisnisi, ko sio peke ata pisnisi, ka kukimu e ngai pisnisi ko kakai pe. Ko e ha, au whakaukau ki ha ngahi, toko ni ai pure anga, ki he ngahi pisnisi, tada pisis tak mamata kai toa hoka whakatamaki pe e ngahi tunga ke toko ngani ai whaakuna ka whaiata mai. Mahalo.
Mahalo, Pita. Koe toko ni te o ku whakaukau ki ai, ke kole ki he pule anga, i kai ke ngata pe i tongani ka i he otumotu, i wawau e ua tongoniua muha abai, ke whakotuu hangahi polokalama, pe koha project uhinga, ke taimi koe o muhoko mai an hatu kai ngata a, o ku osi i ai pe ai ngahi project i he I tongani mo ngahi otumotu. Maha koe pe malo.
And that rounds up our presentations for the 14 contestants for this hour. We had the Miss Tonga Tourist Association, Sepiuta Malamala, and her topic was on mental health. While the judges and scrutineers tally and round up things, how about that? We've all been enlightened on 14 powerful topics, issues that are current in Tonga and the world. And our beautiful contestants today have poured their hearts and souls into research and also into preparing, sharing your personal experiences and presenting them. Let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen, and for those of you watching, this is no easy task, presenting on a national platform and being judged. That's no small task at all. So once again, let's give a clap to our 14 contestants. This has taken courage, discipline, and their loto i tonga to come through. So to all our Heilala 2026 contestants, malo au pito for braving your presentations today and also the interviews. You've made us all here proud. You made your families proud, your sponsors, your supporters. You've made Tonga and Tongans worldwide proud of you today. Malo au pito. As we come towards the end, we'd like to once again acknowledge the Supreme, Elite, and Platinum sponsors who have made Heilala 2026 happen. Our Supreme sponsors, the Government of Tonga and Fiji Airways.
We'd also like to thank our elite sponsors, the MBF Bank, Tanoa International Dayline Hotel, BSB Bank, Chinese Embassy, New Zealand High Commission, Vehoko Arts, Tonga Statistics Department, 5 Star, and New City.
Our platinum sponsors, we have Digicel, Lion Liquor, Tonga Cold Store, Friends Cafe, Tonga National Reserve Bank, and the Australian High Commission.
Malo. We would just like to remind our audience for this evening's program. The second judging event is the Ta'olunga competition this evening at 7 p.m. at the Atere Indoor Stadium. Also, we have already started the voting for the Miss Internet. Voting for Miss Internet, it's on the Heilala Pageant, Miss Heilala Pageant 2026 Facebook page. It's already started. You can like, love, reaction. Reaction counts for any of these girls you support. The voting will be closed this Friday, 12 p.m. So get those fingers running, vote, like, react to your favorite miss.
Just reminding you all, when the announcement of the top 5 for the pre-pageant interview happens after this in a few minutes' time when the scrutineers come through, the top 5 is in no particular order, and also we will take this top 5, add it together with the final interviews on Friday evening, and that will really round up where the interview sits, just so that you have a fair understanding of that. And while we await that, we would like to acknowledge our panel of judges for today, our chair lady, Mishka Tuifua, and also our vice judge for today, Joey Mataele, and I stand corrected. Joey is so humble to say we're of the same age group. He's much younger than I. So thank you very much, Joey, for continuing over the years. We also have Liz Sullivan, and Viliami Takao, Verna Tuhuafu, and Atolomake Helu. A round of applause for our panel of judges. Once again, we would also just like to acknowledge in our midst, the gratitude is never ending to our Miss Heilala, Susiana Taumoepiao. Once again, Susiana, and also we have Miss Specific with us. Thank you once again for joining us for Heilala 2026. And every year we are fortunate for the support of our 2 banks, MBF and also BSP, always coming through as scrutineers for our Heilala week. And this year we have Mr. Nirashan Desanyak from the MBF and also Beteli Vailea from BSP Bank. Thank you very much to the 2 banks for coming through. And also we would like to acknowledge all our sponsors. This year is unique, not only historic because of the year, the bicentennial anniversary, but also we've seen the numbers grow in comparison to past years. So hopefully it's a good sign of Heilala and more to come of it. That this year we have 14 participants, Meliala.
Thank you, Salote. Now you just relax and enjoy. We just wait for our scrutineer to finalize those contestants. Just the top 5, like Salote mentioned, it's in no particular order. It's just the top 5. I go for you to nima tuki mu ape heni ave ki he ate doktana whakatahai ape mo stage interview ko e whawhalaite e toki whakatoa ia ko pare ki interview. I go to nima ko ni ko raktor whani maen ko to nima pe.
Also reminding for this week, whether you're present in Tonga or those that are watching us and joining us from overseas, we'd like to acknowledge the platforms that are being used or the live streams that are coming through, especially for Radio and Television Tonga and Broadcom, our main 2 live broadcasts that are carrying through, and also just our Tongan diaspora, whether in Tonga or the Tongans overseas actually. Thank you for coming through and supporting year by year. I think the events to come that throughout the week we have we've got our sarong wear, we've got our Ta'olunga this evening, we also have talent, the island wear, and of course this year we're going to take it back to past years like the ball, and I know the pageant director, festival director, the minister himself, he's put in his own touch into a waltz and ball and whatnot, so there's a lot to be expected this week. Coming through, and that's exciting, Miliana.
Yes, very exciting, and looking forward to being with you this week at the programs of the Miss Heilala. Yeah, we're still waiting.
I think that's a good sign. As we're waiting for the scrutineers, it's the hard job that they've done in terms of coming through with the points and everything. And as we see it's come through to our head judge in terms of being particularly ready with our marks there, stay with us. We have our top 5. Again, it's in no particular order whatsoever. And as we awaited the scores to come through, this also reflects the hard job that had gone into the judges and being able to judge the presentations and also tallying of the marks and being passed over to the scrutineers. Thank you very much. She's ready. As our contestants are ready for the announcement of the top 5, I'd like to once again acknowledge you individually and also your supporters, your village behind you. A lot of work and just seeing you all throughout the preparations. I'd like to acknowledge you all, the efforts and still braving the stars out there. Throughout the past week. Can we just go back to the island? Able to brave the smiles at this hour. And we have here our results. And the results in terms of, once again, it's in no particular order, but this will be the top 5 of our interview for this hour, which will be added with the final interview. And then from there, the latest or the last results will be named. In no particular order, our top 5 for the pre-pageant interview, we have with us, can I please call on stage Miss SNS USA.
Miss SNS USA 2026, Lava Lava e Kakala Hinoa, Rachel Heda Esau.
Also in the top 5 for the pre-pageant interview, we have Ms. Masani Connect, Ministerial Tourism.
Ms. Masani Connect, Ministry of Tourism, Teki Faiva, Ihakau Tutavak.
The top 5 also includes Miss Aproxis New Zealand 2026.
Miss Aproxis New Zealand 2026, Kathleen Monica Soana Bayatangitau.
Also in the top 5, we have Miss Lady Maria Tonga Australia.
Miss Lady Maria Tonga Australia, Syria, Sitoafa Matelau.
And last of the top 5 for the pre-pageant interview 2026, we have Miss Vava'u Tourism.
Miss Vava'u Tourism 2026, Siutaisa Funaki.
Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it, our top 5 for the pre-pageant interview for this hour. I'd like to, the girls, you could do your wave. Clap. But also this hour, we acknowledge all the 14 participants and contestants who have put through your time and energy in terms of presentation. I ask you, ladies, you can take your seat. Malo pito.
Ko toko ni mana te nau, ko nau whiri he tau kau whapau. Toko ni matu ki mua i he tau pre-pageant interview.
And that, Melia Lau, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, contestants, judges, everyone present here, and those of you that are joining us, that brings us to the end of our first judging event for the Heilala Pageant 2026. What a beautiful start to this week. And we hope you enjoyed meeting our Heilala beauties. through their presentations and interviews, and we've truly set the tone, and we can't wait to see the variety of talent that they'll showcase in the coming days. Just once again, a gentle reminder and invitation, please join us again 7 p.m. this evening at Atele Indoor Stadium for our second judging event, which is a Ta'olonga competition. Come support, come celebrate, and bring that Tongan pride with you. The grace was said at the beginning of the program, so from here, may we all have a pleasant and blessed rest of the day until we see you this evening. To'a whātu, and see you all tonight. So now I think they'll be taking photos, official photos for the Miss Heilala. The program is officially over. Malo.
So you can just relax and enjoy. Malo. Karaoke?